Welcome, everyone. We are back for another exciting show. It's big buy-ins, big names, big players, and we got a big guest. My man, Andrew Hedley, joins today. Andrew, how are you?
Very good, Jeff. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, excited to be here. Some lineup at this FT. Thanks for having me, bud. Looking forward to getting into it.
Yeah, well, this is season 2023 of the Super Millions. This is episode number 5, and it just doesn't seem to disappoint. The prize pool, the players, the quality. There's some of the biggest names in the game today, which we're going to go take a look at here. And if you see the super ranking list for the year, there will be some very lucrative prizes awarded. That has not been official on what those will be, but this is a current look at the leaderboard here for the super ranking. And of course, the prize pool today, 1,740,000. Nothing to be shy about. There's a lot of money. It is exciting. And of course, we are going to look at the payouts again. Over 350,000 going to first. Top two getting over $250,000, and ninth place 50,000. I believe we've already lost the ninth place to at the start of the day. It'll be 8-handed as maybe a knockout, double knockout, or it was in the tournament, as we know from Sunday. As you see, there's 8 out of 174 entrants, so a little more entrants than usual. And this will be a fun one. Some of the names you recognize, I'm sure you see. You do final table commentary. You are not a stranger to the big names, so I'm curious which of these players you know. I mean, there's some very familiar names here. Who stands out?
Well, who doesn't stand out, I suppose, would be the better question. Obviously, we have some absolute beasts. Ole Shemian, mega experience. We've all seen him for years and years. I was just looking through the stats. 8 final tables in the Super Millions alone for Ole. Christoph Vogelsang, obviously an absolute animal. And we've got Mr. Ben CB, Benjamin Rolla, and Christian Rudolph as well. I was having a look into the background of some of the remaining players too. Going to be a tough field, Jeff. There's pretty stacked final, man.
Can we just say Austria/Germany, but let's call it Austria for the sake of the flag? Is it the strongest poker community in the world by far? I mean, it's I last week at like the super edition one, there was 5 of 9 Austrian flags in the juiced up one. And then here we see Benjamin Raleigh, of course, Ben CB, the training program, but I'm biased. I've been with them for since 2015. My man knows his stuff. Streams on Twitch as well and does a lot of content, a leader in the community. Of course, Vogelsang, I think German, but rocking the flag. Ole Shemian as well, same type of thing. And Chris Rudolph. I mean, these guys are tough. 4 world-class household names at the final table again. So is that fair? Would you say it's the strongest poker country in the world?
It's probably fair to say. Pretty wild if you going through those names alone. 4 of the very best that you just mentioned. I'd say maybe them, and Spain has obviously got a lot of very good players, and you can't discount the Brazilians, my man. Cannot discount them. But Ben CB has got himself in an awkward situation right off the bat. 3-betting the King Jack of Hearts, but Ottomar has woken up with the queens and could be priced in here, Jeff.
Man, yeah, there's some math going on there. You're talking about it just looks so strong and committal. And he is, this is close. Yeah, it's still a lot of chips. He still have close to $1 million though. If he calls and doesn't win, his equity, as we see it, he does have a path to win. Let's see. I don't know. This one's very close. What do you think?
Yeah, pretty grim. What is it? 450K to win 1.3 million. He may just think he has the right price. Obviously, against the range, he is in pretty bad shape. Does decide to let it go. Can't hate it either. Obviously, Ottomar's getting range behind there is probably Queens, Ace King suited plus, and we're doing pretty terribly against it. So sometimes I guess the math is less important, right? When you're in these final table ICM spots, and Ben deciding to keep himself at 1.4 million rather than get it in against a very nutted cold 4 range.
We mentioned Austria. I got to look here at Brazil, who also I would say has become maybe the most improved, strongest country in the last 5 years or so. They just seem to always have representation here at the Super Million, some of the great players from the country. And we see 2 names here, which I'm not as familiar with, the usernames, but they are here at a 10K final table. And actually got to give Ademir Ladva a pretty impressive. He has 2 Super Million wins in season 2 alone with 4 final tables. So the guy that comes in and closes. Also on that list, Matthew Stump has a win. So does Ole Shemian. And that's in season 2, right? In some season 1, the stats I don't have it specifically in front, but just in season 2 alone, I mean, that's very impressive. 4 final tables, 2 wins from Ademir. So definitely knows how to play and gets off to a good start.
Yeah, absolutely. Nothing better than just waking up with the queens there, and actually pretty happy to just take it down, I think, also, once Ben puts the 3-bet fold in. And yeah, 2 wins from 4 finals, man. Can't really argue with it. Pretty impressive. And yeah, this lineup is beasts everywhere, as we referenced. So excited to see how things proceed.
Yeah, it is exciting, and we are going to see a 400K pot here. Vogel saying with just a 10-4 actually has the best hand. Can't know it. He's in the big blind. Pretty scary looking board. Hearts complete. You got Matthew Stump with the Jack 10 high, and Vogel saying with a little bit of a decision, there's not many hands that he would likely be good on. And if you're Matthew, it's kind of a tricky spot. You realize you probably have the worst possible hand here. And it feels, I mean, Vogelsang doesn't have anything, but Matthew probably thinking, man, I have to bluff, but it just feels like the guy's going to just, check over a low flush or an ace and just have me, or king, queen and not want to fold. So yeah. This will be curious if he takes a shot, and he does.
Yeah, it's going to go for it. Even trying to get a king to fold here, not ideal, but very under bluffed the old bet, check, bet line. And yeah, Christoph with the snap fold gives it a lot of credit. And yeah, nice timing from Matthew to find on the river.
Yeah, very nice. Want to welcome everyone watching on YouTube. We are going to have, of course, a giveaway for you guys, either 50 cash dollars or 100 GG tournament dollars. So that is we'll give you guys some players to sweat for the 50 and for the 100, which one it'll be. And how about a bet, a dinner bet? Are you up for red or black? Can we do a little draft for some players?
Mate, us Scotsmen always in for a bit of gambling, Jeff. So I'm in, my friend. How does it work? Is it first flop? First flop.
You choose red or black. The winner gets first pick. Then you get the other guy gets second and third, and then we just alternate.
Go from there. So, yeah, okay, so. I'll take red. I'll take red.
Okay, red. So you got red flop. Audience at home, we'll give you some people to sweat. Hope you guys are having a good time. We will put up the hands up promo as well, which is a jackpot progressive. You got to guess the winning hand in the tournament. So if it's king of hearts, 9 of diamonds, you say the specific suits, which is hard. There's a lot of combinations, but if you get it, you win a jackpot. That's progressive. We will get that up for you in the YouTube chat. And good to see Ian Sheriffs, a lot of familiar faces. Appreciate everyone coming in. Let us know where you're watching from. We are going to be playing to a winner today for a lot of money and again, all-star lineup. Definitely a treat. Kind of a forced study session in a way, if you will. For me, I love it. I'm like, man, I can't believe I get to, this is like, what I get to do is come and watch the best in the world, take notes, get to learn, have fun, and get to glad we get to meet as well. I know Familiar, you do some great commentary and do a lot of work over in Europe, and we've never got to meet, so it's nice to get to know you and chat, and yeah, look forward to the show.
Yeah, you too, Jeff. Absolute pleasure to be here. I was very excited when I got the call up to come join you, and I would agree for sure. When you get to watch Cards Up coverage of these big 10Ks. It's almost like you get to practice the spots yourself, right? So that in the future, Jeff, if we're in the same spot, you'll have all of this, knowledge that you've accrued over all these streams. And yeah, we get to see how the best in the world do it. And yeah, it's exciting stuff. And 350K for the win. It's going to be exciting as we go through.
Yeah, it's definitely an exciting one. And we will have a flop that we see. It is red, and you said red, right?
I did say red.
You did say red. So you will get the first pick. You can go ahead and make your selection. You're welcome to let this pot finish out. May as well. See if maybe something dramatic happens. We'll let that play. There is that hands up promo, as I mentioned. It is there. You have to guess there. Click the link. It's a Reddit GGPoker forum, and you can make your submitted guess. If you win, you get the jackpot. Progressives going up every week. So that's pretty cool. And we are live and we are underway. And this is another spot where Vogel's saying speeding into top pair. If you're in the big blind, you're pretty high up in your range. And ooh, that card hurts. Jack Queen completes. Ace X beats you now. And unlucky for the Brazilian here.
Yeah, Christoph with a nice hand on the turn to barrel. You can get some 8X, some suited deuce X, some pocket pairs that did not 3-bet pre. You can get them all to fold on the turn on the 10 of diamonds. Improves to the ace of spades, and pretty clear value bet here. Going to be targeting the king X, which is going to be, it does check back, which is quite interesting. Would have expected him to go for value there, Christoph, but he's a lot better than me, Jeff, so hard to question him.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I guess an important pot. There are hands, obviously you could lose to, and he just decided it's a big enough pot, big enough spot. Also blocks the Jack Queen though, so unlikely to get raised. Unlikely his opponent has Jack Queen, and it's a nice pot there. But we are off and running, and you get your first pick, and then I get second, third. You can.
All right, let's go. Right. So I was thinking about this beforehand, who I was going to go for. Let's go for, I will take Mr. Ole Shemian. I'll take him as first pick.
Ole Shemian. Okay. 2.3 million. Strong pick. Doesn't take the chip leader, but
yeah, I like to be fair, Jeff. I like to be fair with these things.
I like it. Well, I like the, man, I like, this is tough, man. This is tough because I don't know.
I'm getting in your head.
I got to go Vogelsang. Too much experience. 2.4 million as well. And I get 2. So I'll go with Matthew Stump. He has won a Super Millions, and I'm a sucker for the chips. I know it's, oh, shoot. Actually, I'm sorry. Well, I messed that up.
Too late now.
Okay. No, it's all right. That's on me. I totally whiffed it, but that's okay. I'll take Matthew Stump. You know what? He's got a win under his belt in the Super Millions, and I missed it. I missed a pick there, but that's okay. That's on me. It's like backgammon or chess, right? You take the hand off. I can't take it back.
Always interesting at these finals as well. It's relatively shallow as we go through. So any, double ups and stuff, the chips should switch places quite often. Right, I'll take then. So it's my pick now. I'll take Freedom 35. Let's take him. Let's go. So I've got Ole and Freedom.
Nice. That was a mistake by me. And I love Brazil. My wife's Brazilian. My son's half Brazilian. I'm love Brazil. So that was a complete blunder. I hope that doesn't cost me. But yeah. Okay. So now, man. All right. Well, I'm getting put in the state. This is really bad because now I can't even. You know what? I love Brazil so much, but I'm gonna go with Benjamin Raleigh. I feel like he's due. He's been a guest on the show, Raise Your Edge program. It would hurt me to pick him and then I don't get him. You get him the next pick. So I'm gonna go Benjamin Raleigh. I hate to do it to Brazil. I'm leaving that 2 million available, but I've taken Benjamin Raleigh, Ben CB.
All right. Well, it seems that for this evening, I'm going to be Brazilian. I will take Mr. Is it So? Hard to see the screen name. So or 50-50-50. It's a little unclear on that screen, but I will take him as my next pick.
All right, nice spot. Ottomer got the ladies early working for him. He's won twice, and I love that flag. It's a cool looking flag. We're gonna go ahead and grab our friend there as a 2-time winner. I'm going with experience today. I'm going with guys that have won events here and they can do it. So I'll take Ottomer.
All right, and then I'll have Mr. Christian Rudolph. And that
hurts too, guys. I feel like he's at every final table I've done commentary wise in 3 years period. He's a crusher. So I like your chances here. And then I guess that's 4 and 4, right? And there would be
that's it. I think
that's it's only 8 because we're not 9-handed. So audience, who should we give them? Let's think. I'm gonna give him some heat today. We'll give him well, actually, how about this? Let's give him Austria. Let's give him Team Austria. We'll give him Benjamin Raleigh, Vogelsang, Ole, and Rudolph. I mean, they're
strong.
That's like you know what to root for if you're at home today. You want that. It's going to be 100 if it's that. If it's anyone else, it's 50. Very simple. And I think chip EV wise, they're getting some bigs 2.5. They don't have the chip leader, but all in all, I think they have the best of it on the players' ability. Not taking in from the other players, they could be world class, so they're great. But I just know these guys. These 4 are. You're in good hands. You got a good sweat today.
That's an all-star lineup.
Yeah, to everyone at home and keeps it simple on who you're rooting for. We'll do it that way. It hurts me not to have the Brazilians today, but it's all good, man. We'll see what happens. And Adamar, look at this, finding another good spot, very good hand. Sometimes it just goes your way where you get convenient, easy situations, get big hands, queens, ace, king. Here, there should be no contest. You never know. Brazilians, man. He could be. It's
never know. Yeah.
Maybe. Oh, Carnival.
He does send
Carnival is here. My man he stepped into it. Adamar, though. Oh, no.
Adamar.
This one we need. This hurts. Chop's fair.
Chop outs.
Chop's fair. 6, jack. Oh,
he does finds the
wow,
6.
Wow. Carnival, baby. Everyone's showing the 7, the 9s. People are having fun. Emojis, gifts are being used. That was an electric hand. So fair enough. Wow. It is. Yeah. We are off and running.
Interesting spot there. Often the ace king off 22 bigs. You just 3-bit ship it often, right? But Ottomar aware they're widening the 3-bit call range for value, and it's worked out beautifully. Well, I was going to say it worked out beautifully. It almost sent him out the door, but yeah, got it in very good. But happy to river a chop, Jeff. Once we get this bad flop, and Ollie with an interesting decision against. He does just send it, and Christian going to have an easy call with ace-jack. Wow. Another all-in and call.
There's a look. Look at the profiles fan off on the side. Ole Shemian. Oh, this is big. Big moment in the shakeouts of everything. And it is a river 6, 2-pair completed, king 6, ace jack, GG's all around. One of the Austrian flags goes down, but the chips stay in the Austrian flag community, and we have a knockout. So what happened there? You have both of those, right? You had Ole and Rudolph?
Yeah, I had both. So it was, you know, team on team action for me. Ole up to 3.3 mil. It's pretty unfortunate for Christian. Obviously, a very easy call off. Then Ole, it's tough to beat him, Jeff. Wakes up with the aces on the button. Interesting if he always 3-bets here or does flick some slow plays in. Is going to go for the 5 big blind 3-bet.
Yeah, it is a nice hand to get aces. Could flat, but so I think a good thing there to not flat is the stack sizes in the blinds. If you have a guy, a shove stack or 2 people behind that may jam, or you know someone super aggressive, but there I think it's too high risk that just gonna go complete out of the blind. So nice decision there, Ole. He knows what to do. He's no stranger to situations, and he does 3-bet, doesn't get a customer, but he is off to 3.5 million. And here an interesting spot where 8's feeling pretty good with this flop. Tough though. It's tough to play against Ole, who's got chips too. Could go for some check back or small bets, and does check back. So 8's pretty welcoming card, right? Your opponent doesn't bet. You got to believe he's going to bet his over pairs. So now 10 pairs, and you have 8. Still not betting though.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be very confident he has the best hand. One benefit of checking, you do allow Ole to do some delayed c-betting with some of his really junkier parts of his range. Does bet the turn. Reverse the king of clubs. Of course, Ole's going to know his hand is no good. Just decides to let it to check back though, and nice pickup for Freedom 35.
Yeah, I like the play. That is that's my man. He's Brazil. Good start. Brazil. I mean, we might just be down to 2 countries in a little bit. There's we got three Austrian, 2 Brazilians, Canada, a little representation. Is that Estonia for Adamar? I'm not sure. It's a cool flag. I like that flag.
Yeah, I think that is Estonia indeed. Good flag reads, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm not.
Interesting spot here. Freedom just calling out the small with the queens. Doesn't want to play a huge one. And Ollie checks back, turns the ace. Good card to represent as the opener. Is going to fire in a half pot bet. Tough to fold queens when you're so under repped, just the 1 bet. We did see him give up the ace-7 a moment ago. Again, going to note that his king 10 is no good. Whether he decides to try and get Freedom to fold. Freedom can have some like jack 10s here, right? Some king jacks, queen jacks that call turn that could potentially fold river. We do have that nice 10 of clubs blocking some queen 10 suiteds that Freedom could potentially have. Seems like he's going to go for it, Jeff. And he does give up.
Nice again. This I'll say about Ole. I've played with him some live high stakes stuff over the years, and the guy he just seems to make the right decision. I think he's so good at knowing his opponent's exact holdings that he just makes great decisions. You see him give up at the right times. He really seems to have good timing, tempo, and I would say I think he's one of the best players in tournaments, you know, poker history. Really, his consistency online, live, and just very tough guy, very tough player. So he's sitting nice right now. Good seat, 3 million. Got kind of position on the known guys there, sort of to the left and away from the chip leader who's a bit across the table. So I think he's got a really good seat for the. I like his chances today.
Yeah, great start for him. And your boy Ottomar has a good hand to 3-bet fold. You know, we're going to use a lot of these 1 high card, 1 mid to low card blocker 3-bets at this kind of depth. And Freedom does have a real hand in 9s. Decides just to call. Makes a lot of sense when your opponent's 3-bet is so polarized, right? Either going to have real premium aces, kings type holdings, or 3-bet bluffs that are going to be hands like this. Potentially some, you know, ace rag type hands, some queen rag type hands are going to go for the 3-bet bluff. So actually it makes sense to flat the 9s in position here. Just when you shove, you just run into extremely nutted range. And when you call, you keep in these worse hands. Ottomar does check it over. Awkward spot for nines though on the Jack 10-3. Is just going to check it back.
Yeah, this is definitely interesting. Both players have a heart. Nines, sort of dicey, man. These are where the game poker is won and lost, right? The spots, they're tricky, they're tough. Can you make bluffs? Do you give up? These are we're seeing it go for. Wow.
Yeah, he is going to go for it. I don't think Freedom can ever full turn. You can just have the best hand and obviously have that 9 of hearts backup. And Ottomar is in this one of these real tough spots now. Half pot remaining. Can we get it through enough when we shove? Obviously, he's going to be running through all the possible holdings of Freedom. And yeah, like you said, these are the spots in poker where the real intricate ones that the best players in the world will manage to find bluffs. He is going to shut it down though, and you'd expect Freedom just to take a showdown. Does check back, and Team Brazil, Jeff, quite the start for him, up to 5.5 mil.
Yeah, it's pretty. I'm telling you, man, they're dangerous. I made them. That was just a complete error. That was being unfocused. I'd missed it. I was
Wow, look at the lineup of hands here behind. Anything could happen here. Freedom could 3-bet, bluff this hand for sure, leverage the chip lead. And we have Ben behind with the 6s. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Freedom go for this. Matthew really in an awkward spot here. With ICM, a bunch of short stacks. He's third in chips. These are these intricate spots, like you mentioned, the FTs, where it's really tough to proceed here, right? We have a nice hand, King Jack suited, but out of position to the chip leader. It can be very awkward to negotiate these. Feels like all options available, Jeff, here, right? Could fold, could call, could potentially 4-bet fold this hand. Let's go with call. It's a pretty good board for Freedom. Just go ahead and take it with a small c-bet. And yeah, he is started on fire at this FT. It's all Brazil, Jeff. Pocket queens under the gun.
Yeah, it is, man. They're feeling it today. They are feeling it. They're getting big hands, good situations, off and run. I'm so biased for Brazil. I just honestly I remember being at a World Series final table back like long time ago. There was one Brazilian there. It was like 2014 or 13, and just like it was. I swear, every Brazilian in the Vegas area. I don't even know if they were poker players were there, and they were dressed.
They always have an insane rail. Always
unreal. Like
yeah,
you know, in poker, there's haters or like people like just like it's like whatever, even like just like they're just like so you can just tell they want so much success for their friends and their like almost just even if they don't know them, it's like they really rep the Brazil, like the energy of the country. It's amazing. Truly, it's different. It is really UK. I mean, I'm not taking away from other countries too. UK is very rowdy on the rail and stuff. There's some countries that are just known to be like Canada's pretty nice too. Actually, they really support each other. But it's like noticeable, you know what I mean? Like the chants, the songs, it's like they're prepared for big moments.
Yeah, it's always like a carnival, right? Always a huge rail, lots of color, lots of noise, lots of fun. And Ollie picking it up with a nice squeeze there with the ace queen. But yeah, no, I'm with you for sure. UK rails, man, it's just drunk people, Jeff. I know you didn't want to say it, but that we bring the alcohol and the noise, but the Brazilians bring the flair, I would say. And Ottomar is going to be in trouble here, probably sending this for around about 9 bigs. And Christoph with the queens behind. Gonna have a very easy call.
Little time, take your time, think about it. But here we go, king, queen, and queens, and Vogel saying, in a good spot. Let's see, Ottomar is got outs. Ooh,
And he drills it.
Ottomar. Spade for the chop. We're seeing some chop. Nope, 9, and that is going to be a double up for Ottomar. And Ben showing a 7 just cause people like showing. I love the feature functionality. Don't show both, just one. A little bit of a show off of the functionality of GGPoker software. It really is, man. They got it going on. Great. I love the purple final table. They do this seat the seat change. You know, you draft for what seat order. It's pretty cool. And then also, of course, the chess clock we see, the 15 minutes a player. That is another unique feature where I like it, right? Like it makes, I think, people play faster. But in the times you need a real decision, you get to take it.
It is amazing, to be fair, yeah, and like pretty revolutionary, right? Things were pretty, I don't want to say stale, but you know, they came in with the heat and quickly changed lots of stuff, lots of additional graphics and features, as you say, all the emoji stuff. You get to rub it in your opponent's face when you get there on them. And I like the feature too, Jeff, that they kind of dispense of the blind levels at these FTs, and they go up in X number of hands, so that, you know, tanking and big decisions don't make the blind levels go up too quickly. Always really like that about the GG software.
Yeah, no, it is. It really is nice.
Interesting decision for Ollie here. Gonna check the flop. Obviously, this is gonna hit Ben a lot. The Jack 10-8 with the King of Clubs turn does give us open the door to start bluffing. Lots of our bluffs are gonna come from our suited ace X that didn't bet the flop. And Ben, with a little too much hand to fold turn, theoretically at least, does have bottom pair, does of course have that draw to Broadway. Definitely supposed to continue here in theory, and he'll just be trying to work out the value versus bluff combos like we all do in these big spots. Some of all these bluffs will come from the
calls. The SPR stack to pot ratio is set up for that's part of the problem. Like he may think he's good now. He realizes could be a lot of bad cards. He happens to have one of the best situations he could be in, right? Where it's the player's literally drawing to a gut shot. He's blocking that. The ace can't even be good. So he's got his opponent in terrible shape, but he doesn't have a club. He also has a queen, which is a valuable card. And Ben's capable of making this call. The problem is there will be 7, and it's literally SPR of 1 going to the river. And just ultimately, I think, waited out ICM. And, boys, they know each other. Those guys have played a lot of poker together.
Yeah, Ollie rubs it in, showing the 5 of hearts. Of course, Ben going to know almost certainly was ahead, unless Ollie had opened exactly King 5 of hearts, per se. But yeah, tough spot. I would agree with you. Very difficult for Ben there. There's just so much pressure in that spot. With just bottom pair, right, we do have a draw. But yeah, it's very difficult to fold in. Right. You have to get dust himself off. 10-8 of diamonds in the small. 16 bigs effective. Gonna just send it in. Ottomar with the ace 4. Again, one of these spots, similar to last time, right? You're gonna know your hand's good a lot, but gonna have to fold it very often, you know, with ICM implications. Don't want to call off with just ace 4. And nice pickup for Ben.
Interesting. Yeah, decent sized shove there. Obviously, one of the terms I love the most, the risk premium. Ben is on the lower side of that, right? Doesn't have to worry much. He's one of the shortest stacks. At the same time, though, still has enough chips, and him and Ottomar are about the same stack, so he's still plenty much in the game. I just think that it's it's a spot where, you know, you realize how tight your opponent needs to call as well, and there you saw the power of that, where a weak ace even folds.
Sure. Yeah, you'll see a lot of that for 20 big blinds, sort of effective small blind versus big. Lots of these low to mid suited connectors actually just want to jam, because you will get hands like we just saw fold, even going to get potentially hands like King 9, stuff like this, hands that dominate us, Queen 10 off, you know, hands like that, King 8 suited in these situations at an FT, going to have to fold. So Ben's going to be very, very aware, of course, of these ranges, and yeah, picks it up. And Ottomar and Freedom seems to be some dynamic that's building here. They've gone after each other a couple of times, and see how wide Freedom is opening just with the King 4. Obviously knows that all these players are well aware of the big jumps and widening his open range. Ollie flops an open ender with the 8-9. Not the greatest flop in the world to see bet with just the King 4. No real interaction. Interesting decision now for Ollie. With the 9 high, do we start to bluff now? Does make sense, right? Just got 9 high. We can target some of the weakest holdings of Freedom. We can see this should get through. Nice pickup for Mr. Shemian.
I will say a theme that I've noticed lately is the chip leaders really start opening super wide, especially like I'm talking, king four off. That's definitely
Yeah.
pushing it, but showing that Freedom is here to play, going for the win and not afraid to get post flop with some light holding. So should be an interesting dynamic at the moment. And also some of the stacks aren't so much jam stacks, right? You have Ben and Atamar who are a little shorter, but not like they're not super short, and he's looks like he's going to be attacking Freedom.
Yeah, going to use a bunch of these sort of one high card blockery opens. Obviously knows that Ben and Ottomar there are just going to be shoving for the most part. So nice to block these sort of, premium ace X hands, king X hands. Yeah, going to be intriguing. I'm really excited to see what develops. Then waking up with jacks. Nice solid fold from Matthew in the small there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He knows Ben's opening range is going to be very tight here from under the gun. So ace 10 in the bin. You mentioned Ottomar earlier. I don't know much about him, but he seems very fearless so far, Jeff, at this FT. Really going for it. We saw that king 5 off 3-bet and, open him close to the bottom of range here. And Ben going to get in a little bit of trouble here. Does defend the 6-3 of spades to the min. Ottomar's flop trip 10s.
Yeah, pretty nasty flop. This is one of those where Ben flops the 6. Hard to make a pair and hold them. Your head's up. You're closing the action, and your opponent isn't going to have a ton of 10s from this spot, right? He has a 10-9 suited, some other suited 10s, ace 10. But there's this kind of one of those things where it could even check raise, possibly maybe Ben to that make some ace jack or ace queens off kind of fold or be in a bad spot, but does call, and yeah, gonna be treading here a little bit with some difficult decisions.
No, absolutely. I would agree. Ottomar not going to have hands like king 10 off, queen 10 off under the gun, really jack 10 off, none of them. So as you say, some suited 10x and some sort of ace 10s and the overpairs, ace jack, ace queen, ace king. Ben does just check call. And pretty clear turn bet for Ottomar here. Targets some hands like 6x, all the diamond draws, all the sort of 7-8 suited. So if Ben could have a hand like 8-9 of hearts, we could potentially check call one. And yeah, Ben in a very tricky spot now. We do have one of the worst hands that we get to the turn with.
Yeah, I mean, it seems too like this spot is tough. Like all the queen 8 I actually like more. You're blocking relevant cards. You have some backup. Here you're just kind of like could be dead like we see, and in the river it's just like what is a good card for you here. I don't know. Obviously, pull cards up. We can see how bad it actually is, but in the moment you can see why it's a tough decision because you just can be good, but you're really just kind of holding on. You call and then have to make a decision on the river. Tough one.
Yeah, absolutely. Is deep in the tank. Oh, wow. He's going to turn it into a bluff, Jeff.
Wow.
That was unexpected.
Yeah, but hey, what the great ones do. They play, they take spots, they take shots, they take chances, go with the read. A little bit of a misstep here as we see this will not work. And Atamar now just deciding, does he put the rest of it in or just call, which seems more likely. There's a fair amount of draws. There's straight draws, there's diamond draws. I don't think he's going to expect his opponent to take this line with many draws, though. So it's kind of either bluff or like somehow he's behind. But again, if he's behind, I don't think Ben's going to be raising with like 10-6 or pocket sixes here. So yeah, just call makes a lot of sense. Close your eyes.
For sure.
Hope your opponent has a 0% equity hand, or if he has a draw, even somehow you're still in very good shape, especially with trips, which a draw could complete your boat. in spots. So yeah, this is Ben, I think just that's going to be the white flag likely, but at the same time, stuff misses here. There are hands that miss if your opponent was betting a draw, and now the diamonds miss, some other things miss. So I don't know. But I don't think Ben would hero call here, but man, it's a crazy hand.
Yeah, this is one of those pretty sick spot. When Ben does check raise turn like that, Autumn are going to have a horrible time continuing, right, with a hand like jacks, queens, all the overpairs, even potentially like an ace-8 suited that did open and then turned an 8. So don't hate the play, just unfortunate for Ben that he runs into a 10. But yeah, as you say, Jeff, they often surprise us, these top of the game players finding that turn check raise. I don't think many are going to find it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, now you're short of stack by a wide margin. So not how he drew it up, although still seven left. A lot of action, a lot of possibility. And he is still in the game with enough big blinds. What, seven? A little over 7 big blinds. So
yeah,
hey, seen spin ups before. A lot of Raise Your Edge fans out there. Of course, Ben does, of course, the owner founder and been around for a long time and knows his stuff. My man has played a lot of poker, one of the greatest online poker players to do it, and never out. Definitely never counting out until it's over. So it's got some opportunity left today.
Yeah, agreed for sure. Absolutely amazing longevity in the game. We all see his content all the time, often very active on social media as well. Yeah, amazing player. Interesting spot here for Ollie. Freedom, of course, going to c-bet this board extremely often for a small size. King 7 deuce. And Ollie going to take one off with 4s. Often going to have the best hand, right? And like Freedom is going to be opening super wide. Turns a queen. We can see that another bet will very likely get it done if you can find it. We target trying to get Ollie to fold some 7x, some ace highs. Yeah, Freedom getting it done with the turn barrel. Playing very well so far, very aggressive, taking his spots. Knows when to go for the barrels. Matthew with the really awkward seat directly out of position to Freedom, and Ben will be sending this in. 7 bigs, Jeff, gonna be ripping it.
Yeah, looks
time to go.
Behind, although Queen 9 suited, start getting into a close.
It's close. It's close.
Yeah, ultimately.
Yeah, just so important to protect your chip position here for so. He's right in that awkward position, third in chips. You don't really want to put another 500k at risk. These are the intricacies at the modern FTs that are real tough. Of course, it makes chips, chip EV for sure. You're always going to call, right, with Queen 9 of diamonds for 7 bigs. Very different at the FT. Matthew flops flush draw here, defending against Ollie's jacks. Come with quarter pot. Expect Matthew just to call here, Jeff. I think don't want to inflate this pot. We're getting a very nice price. Potential to bluff later in the hand anyway. Let's turn at a 7. I think we'll see a lot of turn checking here from Ollie. Don't really want to just launch money in against a queen. Potentially a 4-5 suited does get there, which would defend versus a min, I think. Going to be some 2-pair combos in there as well. Interesting spot now if Matthew's probably deciding if he wants to block, river, or check. Probably some arguments for both, I would say. Wouldn't be surprised to see a sort of 20% river lead here.
Yeah.
And there it is.
126. Yeah, it's again somewhere in there. That's a great. I like that size a lot, and that's gonna just get called.
Yeah, Ollie getting a good price. Knows he beats a 6, beats some bluffs. Some spades that didn't get there and didn't improve. Yeah, pretty well played hand by both. Always nice to get that right on the river as a guest and not be completely wrong. Nice.
Yeah, it was perfect size, perfect call, and Ole with 4 mil sitting nice. Brazilian in the lead. That Freedom showing a pretty hand. I know he likes to play king 4 off. He'll play 8-9 suited. 6 million there. Ole with 4 million. Those are your two standout stacks at the moment. And Benjamin Raleigh is on a bit of a got that A7 off through, which helps. So he's still hanging in, but short.
Sure. Yeah, Matthew just folding the sixes. You will see a lot of this, especially at finals. These sort of mid to low pairs lose their value a lot when we get into this sort of dicey ICM spot. You will see people tend to use blockers a lot more. As you don't see too much calling in general, right? Like FTs, especially as the medium stacks gonna decide to just get out of the way. Obviously, it's very close in chips between himself, Otmar, and Vogelsang, and Mr. So. Freedom able to just rip in the deuces for 30 here.
Yeah, 30 effective. Of course, shoving 6 million, but 1.8 the most that he could lose on that hand, 1.9 or what it was. But then Raleigh, Ben didn't have a hand to play. Could find a decent spot to get it in semi-light. Maybe find a cool double up, but doesn't get a hand to do so. He would have been flipping deuces, pick it up. And Freedom, man, he's got all the gifts. He's doing all the moves. He's playing a lot of hands. King 8 off. He's having a good time right now as a chip leader. Of course, a lot of money up top.
Yeah, he is in a really great spot here. Of course, gets to just widen his range, enter lots and lots of pots. You can expect to see him raising multiple pots, do a bunch of raise folding, and often just going to get it through. So as we see, continues with the Jack 8, but Ollie with the Ace King of Hearts finds a premium. You can go a couple of ways here. Like, wouldn't be surprised with flat, and he does. Again, you don't want to inflate it. You don't want to play a huge pot here against the chip leader out of position when you're comfortably second in chips. And you'll see lots of small betting here from Freedom on this monotone type board. He does elect to check this one back. And Ollie turning a king.
Ole just, yeah, man. I don't know. I gotta say, I've played with him a lot in live back in the day, and I just was always impressed by his demeanor and his reading and just sort of way he handles himself. He would be my, I'd say he's up there. He's definitely up there on the strongest players that I've played with. I just feel like he's, and also the fact that like the online and live balance, right? Like a lot of guys are dominant live, dominant online. He really does tick both, where he's traveled the circuit, he's had success both ways, and there's just no arguing with his ability.
Yeah, so he's got some unreal results.
Yeah.
So Ben gets it through with the Ace 9. Now with 8 bigs, 9-10 of hearts, probably sending it again. Does rip it in. Should get this one through too. Things can change fast, right? We always know this, Jeff, at FTs especially. Even though he's on 8 bigs, lots of sort of 20 big blind stacks, 15 big blind stacks around. One double up and he's right back in the hunt.
Oh, yeah.
By the way, I never asked you this. I should have qualified this. Where is the dinner bet at? Because I might have put myself in a bad spot here. Depends where we're going.
Ooh, yeah, it's true. Well, I mean, I think that's a fair question. We could put a cap on it. I don't know. I didn't think. I wasn't thinking. And is it in the UK? Is it in the US? There's some differences, and I'm open. I'm open for whatever. We can do however you want. You can say me and you. We can say me plus ones, group dinner. However crazy you want to get. I'll let you make it.
If I win, it's at Nobu or somewhere better. If you win, we're off to Hooters, baby.
Hooters, all right. I stayed there once back in the day in Vegas. There's they might have some new restaurants there. I don't know. That's fine. I'm okay with that. We can handicap it.
No, only joking, my man.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. We'll have a good time. This will be fun. I always do enjoy it. It adds a little bit. And the audience though, with they're actually, so they got 3 and not going great for the audience at the moment. They got 6 million total chips. Freedom's got that in his stack alone, and all of the other players still remaining. So I guess, I mean, it's still a lot of play left, and you got Ole with 4 mil. You're not in trouble by any means, but
no, it's true. Interesting here, like Christoph obviously tries to get one through pre with ace-10. Is going to check through to the river. And Freedom improves to top pair. Yeah, it does go with check. And one of these spots where Christoph is not going to be good that often, right? It's hard for Freedom to have too many complete air balls. And he might decide to turn this into a bluff. But we do have still some showdown with ace-10. He's obviously debating whether to go ahead and bluff here. You could potentially get a hand like a 7 or a 6 to fold river, but he does just check. And Freedom picks up another one.
Yeah, the Freedom off and running. And look at this, kings in the big blind, and this could be GG for Ben. What about a limp? I think we're going to see it. 10 blinds seems crappy. Could also min raise or just do the induce, and this actually, either way, it's almost no path out for Ben here.
No.
Regardless. Ace-6 off, there it is. Going to take the bait, and hey, got the over. As we know, this is not a lockup, but this is an important pot for the tournament in general. It's clean to start, 85%, almost too clean, 93%. Rooting hard. Ben's going to need an ace and ace only, and it is paint. So that is going to be it for the man. And the masterclass, raise your edge out the door. 7 million in GGPoker earnings alone. There's a look at his 2022 and 3. So he's on the board for 2023 Super Millions, and a G goodbye from Ole, as we are down 2 Austrians remain of 6. Only a rough start there, and Freedom is running amok right now. Queen 3 off, going to open on the button, and he has got 7 million. So it's a good start there for him.
Yeah, 100 bigs does have license now to go pretty ballist. Yeah, nothing Ben can do there, Jeff. Obviously, Freedom opening so liberally. He's going to have a bunch of raised folds there, right, even for 9 big blinds. So pretty unfortunate for Ben. Just got to get it in, and yeah, can't run down the kings. Christoph defends king 5. Expect a bunch of min betting on these kind of boards, but Freedom going to go for a delay. Probably recognizing that Christoph going to not defend very wide. He does defend king 5, but he is the outright short stack now. Not so much ICM pressure on him.
Yeah. I mean, this is, again, but Vogelstein's been getting put in some tough spots. He's had sort of marginal situations run out. Maybe the ace jack where you hit the river ace against top pair king. He could have value bet. That was one. But, here again, he's sort of understands how wide Freedom's range is. And here he's got a blocker to the nut straight, although it's ace jack board's paired. He's out of position. Freedom just going to keep on betting. And similarly, very difficult spot. I'm sure he realizes there's hands he's beating. This is actually one of the few sort of semi bluffs that he's beating, like the Queen X with the, that has got a little bit of equity that's bluffing. And again, does he call? Puts up close to a stack to SPR of 1. Could be put in a lot of situations. You don't have much backup either. It's like you just, and also let's say he does have a random hand like this, Queen 3 or 8-9. Now a river's come and like you're out of position, and your opponent gets to just check back, maybe a little bit of showdown that you somehow lose to. And then of course, if you're not good, you could get bluffed again. So tough spot for Vogelstein there, and can't blame him for folding.
Yeah, absolutely agree 100% with all. And Freedom really crushing so far. Pretty much everything going his way. Finding some hands, playing well. It's a tough combination to beat, especially when he has all the chips. Your man Ottomar on the button can open the king 9 of diamonds. Interesting decision here for Ollie. There is some argument for ripping it in here for around about 20. Obviously going to continue. Just going to come with call.
Yeah, and I think your Discord, maybe if you can right click and mute notifications, I believe it's like popping up when you get a Discord message.
Okay. I will do.
Yeah.
This is a test of my old man technology abilities, Jeff.
It's like, I think the best, you right click on the volume and then go to volume mixer. If you right click, open volume mixer, and then you can just like mute Discord or something.
Okay.
Something like that. All right, threes, ace king. Ace king gonna pair comfortably. Top pair, ace king. Gonna be hard to get any chips here though, right? The threes just not gonna be able to do much other than run along.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm happy to be here today. I got another baby boy on the way, and my wife is like 9 months pregnant-ish, and daughter water broke early in the morning yesterday, so I was at the hospital most of the day, did tests, and wasn't the case, so would have been away today, but would have been a little early on the delivery, so I'm think it's good it wasn't, right, to be a little further along, and of course get to be here today. And next week there's no Super Million with a break, I am told, because I think it's let's see, it is a Super Million week. Final table will start the 11th. There's a week off, so that'll be no show next week. So we're hopefully maybe I'll have a boy by then, another one, but we'll see here. King's ace queen and a spot that ace queen. This is tough, right? Yeah, this one, the math is just going to be too much. You're going to flip, can't fold.
Yeah, he's not going to fold this one for 10 effective behind. Already have 5 in. But congratulations, Jeff, and I hope everything goes very well when the moment comes. Ottomar hoping that things will go well for him. Ace, queen, v kings, and need an ace. Does improve to a queen on the flop.
Yeah, gonna need some help, or Vogelsang will be way in it again. River, do we get to see? It's clean cards today. We've seen some dramatic runouts on Super Millions lately, some 2-outers, some rivers, some crazy stuff, 3-outers, wild stuff, and today it's been pretty straightforward. Kings holding versus ace-x a couple times.
That can only mean that the drama is yet to come. But yeah, most of the best hands holding thus far. Ollie back in the mix with the 7-8, and look at that, Jeff flops the nuts.
Pop with the redraw, with the
straight
flush draw. I mean, I guess, and this is this one where you could check back and just like act like, oh, I got ace queen. You know, I'm scared. Let his opponent start speeding with no governor, but no, he's still gonna bet it, huh? And honestly, the queen 3 still, this is enough. I think, you know, this is again very good recognition from Ole with the board, the situation, what kind of hands. Of course, this chip leader is gonna have a wide range, but this does favor the big blind range. So look at this. He even knows, like, yeah, let me bet it because maybe my guy does have 7x or 8x or 3x or some kind of thing that he's going to start getting saucy on. So now here he goes. He gets to get his opponent. Okay, now just call. And now he's got his opponent 1 million in the middle. Could be a chip switch between first and second if Freedom decides to keep telling the story. Because, you know, if you're Freedom, right, and you get called here and you think, oh, maybe my opponent has ace high and still has to call, and like he hits it, but still he could put the speed on here and rep that he's got 3-7 or whatever. Wow. I mean, this is it. This is why Ole is so, he just knows. He knows his opponent. He knows the situation. He does, you know, I could check back. No, I bet small, and now we got ourselves a real pot. And his opponent is in Barney Rubble, absolute trouble. No 0% win chance. Like there's literally, I mean, couldn't be more of a masterpiece hand, man. I'm gonna go on the record and say, Ole Shemi, I think he's one of my favorite players to watch. This is just crazy. What a brick out. Everything brick.
This is a massive moment. I think he's gonna shell it. This. I think he might go.
I don't know if he'll rip it. I think he might bet like 1.7 or 8, like a big bet, you know, because I don't know if he's got to rip 3 here. Like I think he just feels that there's missed hearts. Ace Jack, Ace Queen even has a hard time calling a huge bet. So I don't know if he's just gonna go enchilada, but he's not checking. I'll tell you that. I'd be shocked if we see a give up here. There it is, 1.2. Yeah, so something.
Yeah, you've called it. Yeah, targeting perhaps some pocket pairs worse than, higher than sort of a 10, the jacks, the queens, the kings that call to and potentially fold. It's nice for him not to hold any hearts or any diamonds, which, you know, he can get some of those draws to fold river. But yeah, as you said, amazing awareness from Ollie to know that Freedom is going to attack this texture and manages to make this pot as big as possible with that flop C bet. And of course, he's going to be all in. Nothing for Freedom to do but fold.
It's like there it is. Chip
Thick
leader
hand.
it's been swung in a nice pot. Always Shumian putting on a getting the max there. Absolutely. And freedom. Got a little too free. Little too free of Cavalier play and stepped into it. Messed with the bull, got the horns. And here we go. Matthew also stepping out of line. I mean, Ole, does he just rip it in with like say, hey, if it's a flip, it's a flip. It is 1.4 million. He's only got 140 in there though. But at the same time, he could generate fold equity. He's flipping sometimes. If he loses the pot, he still has 5.5 million or 5 million, about 5.2. So like he does. Wow, he just calls, and this we may get to C5 anyway. But this is a little different now though, because now he's got there's still 1.1 million behind. Tricky, man. This is a fun one. I'm very curious how Ole's going to proceed here to action.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matthew just sends it. He's going to get that one through. Yeah, it's another one of those spots I think where Matthew is either going to have a very, very strong hand. You know, it's a very polar button 3-bet spot. And sevens, when we send it, not doing very well against the value range. It does decide to just call. Just attempting to adjust my microphone here. Hearing a few people, it's a little too loud.
Yeah, Matt. I think Matt volume. Maybe I was a little bit far away, guys. Apologize for that. I've had a couple mic issues. It's weird. I got this. You know, sometimes it's simpler the better. Just have a Logitech camera. I got camera issues a few times with like high tech stuff and whatever. I hope you guys can hear me well. We're having a blast here today. This is episode 5, season 2023, Super Millions, and it's been fun. And ooh, this is King Jack the jam hand, right? This is the one that just plays well as a jam, and this is not gonna work. I think Ole will maybe take this spot. I just think this is like in that solver world of like this is like the perfect hand to 4-bet jam, especially situationally. There's some other similar stacks. Matthew would be risking a lot here to call off. He is gonna have some bluffs, although they just played an interesting hand. And there it is.
Solver. Yeah, you called it, Jeff. He's in terrible shape.
King's the King Jack suited. Ole is gonna need runner, and it is looking dark. Wow. If it dark, that was the card to put life in the hand, a 9 or an ace, and it is not though. That would have been too much. Matthew Stump is back in a big way. 4 million chip pot going his way, and whew, we got ourselves a bit of a tie at the top. 4.2, 4.2, 4.7. Atamar is short, and a little distribution of chips.
My apologies, just trying to sort this out so that it's better for the viewers.
Man, Ole's getting a lot of interesting spots and hands in here. He does make bottom set. Jack 10-8, pretty wet board, right? Queen King. There's 9x, the straight draws, A6 suited though. Matthew with some newfound chips. Probably going to take a small stab here. Maybe check back though. It's really a bad board. He could just bet like 120 or check. But let's see. Ole certainly not going anywhere at bottom set. Feeling good. Does check. Deuce on the turn, 8's in the big lead. If he is going to bet, I would expect a fairly big bet, right? Ace King, Ace Queen, Queen King, maybe some hands that he could be bet. I think if he goes any bet at all, it'd probably be decent size. But always got tricks. Could check. It does go big bet. Gonna make no decision though for the weak hand, Ace 6. All right, a lot of notes, a lot of interesting hands. We had some great replay, great highlight shows from these Super Millions. You see, I've had some on my Jeff Gross Poker YouTube channel. Also, GG has highlights of this as well. But we always, of course, love having you guys live to sweat. As we see a flip here, Ace 10 to 7s, 10 pairs. Brazil in the lead, Queen on the turn. There are some chop. Oh no, actually, a Jack would be the Ace straight. So no, he needs some help. He needs a specific card. It is not a club. It can't be a 7. It's a two-sider there, two across, as we are going to see a 4 and a double for Brazil. Brazil looking strong today. 4 and 3 million, 5 and 3 million right now. We got 2 Brazilians, 2 Austrian players, and then a Canadian and a, I believe Latvia, if I'm not mistaken. So it is wide open. We are seeing a very balanced stacks here. 4, 3, 4, 2.5, and then Audemars at the bottom 600, and Vogel saying 1.6, who hasn't really gotten, what's the word? He hasn't gotten let loose right now. He's still a bit hasn't really found his stride. Ace King Queen 6 suited. Not much going to happen here, likely, as we see the Ace King just calls, right? Brazilian there, a little trickeration, maybe also keeping the pot small.
Yeah, interesting. He's going to know that the button should be pretty tight with his opening range, opening into the chip leader. And yeah, a little deception. That's just call. We can see he's got him drawing dead. Interesting spot if So decides to try and barrel this. Really have no backdoor equity whatsoever, just queen high.
Estonia, there we go. Yeah, Estonia confirmed. Nice. They're very crypto-friendly laws. I feel like it's a very liberal country. I've heard great things about Estonia. Have you ever been? Do you know much about Estonia?
I have, Jeff. I actually commentated the very first time I ever did commentary was in Tallinn, in Estonia. And this was several years ago. Absolutely beautiful place. Like it's amazing. I don't know if you've ever been, but Tallinn is a beautiful city.
I'm not.
And yeah, super nice people, beautiful place, great food. It's an amazing place. So I had a great time there.
Very small country, right?
It is very small, yeah, very small population, and but lovely people. They love their poker there. And Ottomar here has a decision here. May just put this in as the shorty with just about 8 bigs. He's going to know he doesn't have much fold equity, but ace 10 going to hold up fairly well against the 2 ranges. And Freedom going to just flick this in with the same hand. Apologies, guys. I'm trying to solve the sound issues and still chat to my man, Jeff.
We're good. Well, we got ace 10, ace jack, king 7, and it is going to be a chop pot. You know that. Everyone stays in. Who's multiple people happy, but it's everyone at the table is looking for knockouts. Audemars, again, 2-time Super Million winner. So people, they know he's capable. And, of course, pay jumps are always pleasant when you are at a final table. So people not rooting for him there, I'm sure, as we are still 6-handed. We're going to do the giveaway here, keyed up keyword very shortly for you guys. It'll be a 50 GG cash or 100 GG tournament dollars. And do we see a limp or no? Just a raise, right? You don't want to risk. You get that shove all in, of course. You can't let random 2 check back. You could trap, but I think there's going to be too many check backs and then awkward spots. So a shove there. Hope you cool your opponent with the weaker ace or something to call that is worse. But he just picks it up. Still stay 6-handed. And we are going to pick up the action. Ace 8, 8, 6. Not too interesting of a confrontation here. Matthew thinking, does he want to check or bet? There's 2 diamonds. Ole very creative. A little bit of both, right? Just pot control. And don't want to open up yourself to get pushed off or put in a really tough spot. So don't blame him here. And Ole now with the gut shot. Player doesn't bet. And interesting, though. He also... this is maybe something he realizes that his opponent's going to bet a lot of his air. So maybe he does have an ace. I think that'll register with Ole here, that's a very distinct possibility.
Yeah, it makes some sense for Matthew to have some checkbacks. But Ole is going to go for it with an overbet. And this also makes some sense. We're really only going to bet a 4 for value, a good ace. And it's mostly going to be for a large size. And, to go with some of our sort of air bluffs. And Matthew, we did decide to check back flop to induce this kind of action. Can't imagine that he will fold the turn really ever. Not ideal to have an 8 in our hand. You know, we block some of the 8-6, the 8-7 that could be the bluffs of Ollie. Obviously, we can see that Ollie does have that, but yeah, going to be interesting to see what happens here if Matthew finds the turn call, which you would expect, but wow, he does just let it go. That's your man Ollie.
And the thing is, he knows there, I think, that he has literally the ace. That's the crazy part. He's attacking ace X with that bet, not, oh, maybe I get king high to fold. It's like, I want to put max pressure on a weak ace because that's what I'm saying. I think he really just targets exactly what's going on and knows where he's at and what his perception of his hand and his ability. So very, very crazy. Want to say a special hello to Leon watching, I believe, first time on stream. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. And apparently we're having mic issues. If I'm too low, let me know. I've cranked up my sound. We did testing before and it was good. So I don't know if it's too low. I apologize. We'll try to get that fixed, but should be okay.
I think you might be too low and I might be too high, Jeff. We've got to balance each other out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's telling you technology is hard.
It is hard.
Unfold, man. That's brutal. I don't know. It should be good, but
and we see another one of those sort of King X blockery 3-bet attempts there from Christoph with the ace queen sends it in, picks up a nice one. But yeah, like you said about Ollie, just seems to have this amazing awareness, Jeff, of timing, you know. With that overbet, he knows Matthew's going to be in such bad shape with all of his pocket pairs. Almost all of them are going to be in a really difficult situation. And if you're getting ace-8 to fold with the overbet, pretty amazing timing. And his best here also against Matthew's defend with a Broadway drop. I'm going to come in with a small bet, and that should be the end of the hand. Please let us know, guys, if this is a little better for you on my end.
I mean, my mic should be good. I'm right on it, and we tested it before, so I don't know what could possibly have changed, but we'll keep going. What's up, Ryan? Good to see you. Spin Power, man. Hope maybe it's your computer. I don't know. Spin Blade. You're saying the mic's messed up, but we'll see. So hopefully all good. And ace-8, ace-jack. We got a call there. Matthew hanging on. So ace-8, no good. Ace-jack high with the king-10 plays. And now Matthew, though, is this another blocker bet? Does he just sort of put something, maybe get jack-queen to not bluff him, or jack-9 or some clubs to not maybe go for a bluff? Does he worry about that, or check?
I think this one just goes check most of the time. Ace-high going to be good enough at the time. Ollie going to c-bet range very, very often on the king-10 deuce, and when the king pairs the river, Ollie unlikely to bluff too often, I would say. Yeah, so just content to take his showdown, Matthew, and well, what he perceived as showdown with his ace-high, but Ollie with the ace-jack wins the pot. Another clash incoming. Matthew with 25 bigs, ace-king off. You would expect him just to jam. There are, 2 or 3 stacks around about him. Ace-king off typically likes to just rip it for 25 bigs, and yeah, he effectively jams. Not the easiest spot in the world for Ollie. I think another one of these spots where Chippy V, we would call, but at an FT, would imagine he will lay this one down. But they have just clashed in a bunch of pots. You never really know.
Ooh, tricky one, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Fold ace-jack and potentially have to call with ace-queen. One of those, Jeff, bottom of the range for even considering calling off in an FT ICM situation.
Jack, 9, 6 deuce. Please, the prayers sent out. I mean, 6 deuce off, one of the worst hands you can have. And again, Freedom just not afraid to kind of roll the dice, push marginal spots, pick up chips. And he does pick up another one. 5.3 million, Ole 4.6 million. So, I mean, I guess if you had to bet right now, always got to be the favorite, most experienced. I think just as we've seen how dangerous and tough he is, he's got basically tied for the chip lead right now. Freedom not afraid, seems to be playing well and going for it, being aggressive. He had a little mistiming cue there, put his chip lead on the line. Ole obviously flopped the nuts with the redraw and kind of worked out to get the max, but yeah, still wide open. I would say though, Ole's definitely like it would be the big favorite right now. If you could say big favorite. I mean, obviously still six-handed, wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. Neither of those players been afraid to get after it.
Yeah, absolutely. Ace three, ace nine, 500 in the middle, 646. Got the jack on the turn. No player with a pair. Hold him so hard to make a pair. No one still has a pair. 5 cards out. Ace nine. Oh, it's a what? Chop, jack 10, 6, 6, ace. So it would be a chop if it goes check, check. And this probably will actually how it played out. So I believe, I mean, there you go. Six, 3, 6, Ole, limp. And this, I mean, how have you noticed in your experience commentating? You know, you do a lot of final tables and you see, do you feel that, you know, there's like a king six off or certain hands, right? It's like in the matrix of hands, which hands you're blind on blind supposed to raise or, you know, bluff with and not. Do you feel that do you notice a difference when someone like a Benjamin Raleigh or a Ole Shemian or Vogelsang or a known pro that people respect? Do you feel like when it's like, oh, you can do 60 here, 40 here, 70, 30 here. And all right, look, this will be the time I'm going to check back because I just don't want to get abused or do you feel that sometimes with the power of a name of a power that people take more passive, cautious lines? I mean, look at that. I mean, the ace eight hand on ace four, four, you see a check and then a fold to a big bet. Like he literally flopped top pair, guy 0%, and he just wins the hand. But like, you know what I mean? Like, do you feel that sometimes that people fold more to the names they fear and respect?
I think it's definitely a factor, Jeff, for sure. I mean, the more experienced sort of regs and players will, at this point, have played with them so much that it won't affect them. But it's definitely a factor. And I would say, especially live, like maybe it's a little different online, not as much, you know, you're not as intimidated. Whereas, you know, like you said, if you've played with Ollie a lot and he's super experienced live, and people will shy away, I think, and it can get in your head, right? Sometimes you're sitting across the table from someone you know has won upwards of 10 million in earnings, and it can be intimidating. Definitely, I would say, I would agree with you. That's never happened to me, obviously, Jeff. I'm completely unafraid of them all.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, that is part of the power of the. I do think that it does help when you see and you kind of get to see some whole cards up in these situations with some of the best names in the game. You know, what I mean, like you kind of feel a little bit more comfortable what they're doing or what they're capable of, how they approach certain spots. You know, like it does help, but they're still scary, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like we saw that hand with Ben early at the FT where he found the turn check raise with the 6-3. And you know, some of these beasts are going to find these lines that we're not too used to seeing. Apologies there. Hopefully now my mic is at a better level for the guys at home. We can get back into calling the action better. Matthew gonna limp the king eight of hearts, and Freedom just gets to continue to try and pound on them. So tough, Jeff, right? With the big pay jumps, the ICM, Ottomar very short. King eight, you know, king eight suited, feels too strong to limp fold, and he is going to call. Makes a lot of sense. Freedom going to have a bunch of sort of very junky ISOs to go with some value hands. You see his ISO in the king six. And Matthew definitely not going anywhere. King high flush draw.
Yeah, it's a little different situation, but almost the same we just saw with king six, right? For the Brazilian with Ole's limp, where here you go, king six. You put that in the bucket of kind of your bluff raises, and now doesn't go here, but now he goes for, of course, covering versus not covered, right? There are other nuances to the situations, but as it's played, this should work out well for Matthew, as we see his opponent at 0%. The flush completes. A lot of times you see a second shell here, but we don't get that. And Matthew now on the river with 8-10 feels pretty good. The second up flush, paired board, trying to see what he can suss out of his opponent. So I think you might see a queen even bet a lot when the flush arrives, right? Because your opponent with the flush won't raise you, get the free, kind of dictate the pot size for the river and hit some magical board pairs. If you had a queen that would make, if you were scared of the flush, it would make a boat. So now I'm curious on the sizing here. I don't know how big he can actually go. Can maybe, but then again, maybe your opponent hits the ace as this hand played out. So
yeah, this is an interesting spot. I'm not surprised to see Freedom shut it down on the turn. Of course, when Matthew check calls flop, it's going to have a bunch of Queen X, bunch of 9X, bunch of flush draws. He's going to have some 10-jack potentially that we do still win against if it doesn't bluff river. But if we barrel this turn, we are going to run into, a lot of made hands for Matthew. And Matthew trying to decide if he can check this over or just go for value. Like, Freedom is going to have a lot of pure junk, which could potentially bluff on the ace. But he is just going to go ahead with a chunky bet and should be the end of the hand, really. Only real potential bluffs for Matthew is the ones we said, like a 10-jack that decides to go for it on the river. And that's going to get it done.
Nice hand.
Ollie back at it with the ace-9. I hope that's resolved, Jeff. Hope you can hear me okay also.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out the dinner situation here. I mean, I made the mistake with Brazil. He got 5 mil. I had I think Vogel saying you're looking pretty good, I believe.
Yeah, I've got Ollie and Freedom, right? And wow, look at this. Ottomar snaps it off with bottom pair. He is good. Just has to fade an ace or a 9 and he's going to get the double. That happened very quickly. Oh, it's very unfortunate. Ollie drills the ace.
It's just, I'm just telling you, man. I've actually had a few times at like some spots where I've been. Actually, I'll remember it's not a huge event. It was a side event in the UK, and I played with Ole, and I had like ace king suited 4-handed in like a 5K side event back in like 13. I just remember he just had like aces. I was like second in chips. He was first, just like ace king suited aces. I'm out the door and fourth. I just remember thinking in my head, I'm like, man, how is this possible? And there's been a few others where like he just has it and I have like a good hand, or he knocks me out in a spot. I just, there's certain guys you just feel like you just don't beat, or they just have it. Like it's just I've always had that taste that he just is like kind of runs well too, right?
It's hard to beat Ole, mate. It's hard to beat him. Famous for his all-in prowess as well as his undoubted poker ability, and obviously he's a complete boss. But yeah, that's unfortunate for Ottomar. Played well, Jeff, eh? Played very well. Just made a good call. Sometimes you have to hold up. He's out in 6th. Yeah. Down to 5. Right, guys, don't clash too hard here. These are my dinner bets here. This is the most important thing.
And in 2 to 3 though, right? So it's actually looking pretty nice for the $50 or $100 sweat for the audience at home. Guys, hit that thumbs up. That's the first part. I will give you the key word here to add in for the chance at the giveaway. So you got to hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the show only, of course. And then it will be either $50 or $100, depending. If Team Austria can win, it's 100. If one of the other 3 remaining win, it's 50. And we'll go ahead and pick a winner here very soon. And I'll do that heads up. So we'll knock that down. Of course, the hands up. Give me your hand up prediction today, Andy. So it's a progressive jackpot bonus. You're actually eligible. You could go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do it too. I don't know if there's a rule why I can't win. I'm going to click on the link here and submit my guess for the.
So is it the winning hand of the whole tournament?
Yeah. Exactly. I just put mine in. King of Hearts, 9 of Diamonds, guys. If you go click on that link, you can enter and be eligible for the jackpots. It goes up every week. So I said King Heart, 9 of Diamonds.
Yeah, on my life, in my head, I had King 9. And you've just said it, and it's really creeped me out. I swear down.
Well, you know why? That's like that movie focus. Like I said, I think earlier in my example, King 9, like an hour ago, randomly.
A bit
I
of
think it has to be.
subconscious.
How's that possible, right? You can't just.
I swear, it actually freaked me out. That's some subconscious conditioning. That's unbelievable. Right. Well, I was going to go king 9, but now I'm going to have to change. I'll go with jack 8 of diamonds.
Okay, but you gotta click the link, pinned link.
I gotta click the link,
or else it doesn't count. So I'm eligible. I'm in the jackpot.
If I've already had all these problems with the technology, Jeff. Don't be doing this to me.
Yeah. Also, I got a $500 pin tweet. I don't know if I've given it away yet or not. For my last week, I did a 1K bet with Phil Gruesome, who we did a last longer, and then we did a bet with our players. We added a little juice for a 1K. I won. I said I'll give 50% to the audience if I won. So I gave away $500. I think that's still pending, but it's my pin Twitter, Jeff Gross Poker, and Phil Gruesome. I don't know if you know about him. You know Phil Boy, right? You know this guy.
Hey, and actually spent a lot of time with Phil in Malta. I used to live in Malta.
Okay.
And great guy, just super interesting person, and yeah, Phil's a boss. Big fan.
Yeah, he is. But he just won. He won that GG.
I saw the $150.
$150. One bullet, 66,000 plus entries. He won like 806,000.
It's so sick, isn't
pretty
it?
Crazy.
Yeah. Interesting pot here. Matthew actually limped and decided to bet the flop on 10-7-6. Not something you typically see too much. I was a little surprised on this board with Freedom going to continue a lot. Turn went check, and Freedom now just deciding if he should go for value with his 10. Interesting spot because, I was surprised to see Matthew bet with bottom pair. Yeah, Freedom just going to check it back. Makes some sense.
Yeah, king 6, 10,
takes down a small one. I think I'm going to leave the jack 8 of diamonds out. I've had so many problems with technology here, Jeff. I'm scared. I'll leave it to the viewers to ship the money. Although if they win with jack 8 of diamonds, I might retire from the comms for good. Freedom now with ace 10. Interesting spot. Matthew with around about 26 bigs behind. Yeah, it is going to 3-bet. Christoph be getting out of the way. Unless he wants to go for something real wild.
All right, we're gonna get the keyword going here. I kind of wait. Actually, I'm gonna wait one more player knockout because it gets a little spammy. We'll put the keyword in the chat, guys, for the bonus today. You got to hit the thumbs up. Put the keyword, which I'll tell you very shortly, and then we will be for again a $50 or $100 will be the giveaway based on who wins.
Christoph waking up with kings. Very nice time to do so. Freedom opening super wide. Christoph be trying to think of the best way to get the chips in. 20 bigs effective. Problem here is we would have a lot of just 3-bet shoves, right? And he is going to 3-bet non-all in. Just going to be so tough to get Freedom to continue.
Yeah. I wonder what Vogelsaing's cut off to flat with Ole with the stacks there and how wide Freedom's been to maybe try to induce. But I guess just his stack size is awkward and doesn't think he's going to really squeeze a lot there.
Wow, and Freedom peels, which is pretty interesting. He's going to get in a big trouble, Jeff. Flops top pair on the jack 9-9. Could be a little history there. And also, this does look kind of like a bluffy 3-bet pre, right? Like it's super polar. Once again, it's going to be, really strong hands, aces, kings. I'm not even sure if Christoph 3-bet induces queens, probably queens. But then other than that, there's a lot of these sort of ace 8 offsuit, ace 7 off. You will see lots of that, king 10 offsuit. Even a hand like these type of holdings will go for 3-bet bluffs. Freedom deciding that queen jack does pretty well in position against the bluff range of Christoph and going to get in a bunch of trouble here. SPR around about 1. Definitely can't go anywhere on the flop. Whether he decides to get it in or just call. Very tricky spot. Turn is the 10 of diamonds. Christoph with around about 2/3 pot left.
Very interesting.
Really interesting decision for Christoph here. I mean, of course, we can get value from a jack. Not really getting value from anything else that we beat, though, I don't think. I think Christoph is just trying to decide if he can do a non-all-in sizing. Would make some sense. It's a super coordinated board. We're in the weeds a little bit here, Jeff. Not really a spot I've seen too often where the button continues for 20 deep, excuse me, pre-flop.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it does just send it. Of course, fades the snap call. Always going to be very happy. And what do you do now is freedom. Super tough spot. And Christoph could potentially have some of those ace-x hands that we discussed that won a 3-bet bluff pre with the ace of diamonds, potentially, and just decide to run it. Hard to think of too many pure bluffs for Christoph outside of that. But we block. I mean, this is tough. Finding it hard to give you high-depth analysis here. This is a tough, very tough spot to analyze.
Man. I think he's I think he may end up making a call. He beats some hands. You know, there's some like ace king with the diamond hands. There's some other stuff here. I just don't know. Like he's got backup in his head, maybe that it, but at the same time the board's paired and the flush you're dead to. It's not an easy spot. This is really tough. What do you think he's gonna do?
I think fold eventually. Like most of Vogel's bluffs are going to hold that ace of diamonds, like we just discussed. You know, if Vogelsang has a king 10 with a diamond, I don't think he would jam turn as a merge. I'm really not too sure. And yeah, most of the bluffs going to have the ace of diamonds in them, you would think. And there's not so many. Like even a bunch of the ace queen, ace jack offsuits are just all in pre, I think, for Christoph. Don't think he's going to do that much inducing pre-flop with even ace king off for 19 bigs. I think there'll be a lot of shoving. Could be wrong. Been wrong many times. But yeah, I think most of the bluffs just come from the ace of diamonds for Christoph. But freedom deep in the tank. Part of the problem when you peel here with, yeah, he does find a fold. Makes a lot of sense, I think. Yeah, interesting hand. Not something you see too much, the pre-flop peel there. I guess that's respect from freedom, right? Knowing that Christoph's going to find all of those sort of 20 big blind offsuit ace-x bluffs, excuse me, and some of the king x ones too. Nice fold on the turn. I'll limp in the queen jack. Do you think everyone gets shown? I'm not sure what I said.
Yeah, this is big boy stuff now. We got a 5-handed here. We're gonna do the key to giveaway here. How much is the jackpot? I don't even got to click on the link. I'm not sure. It's been going up every week. No one's got it yet. Yeah, so making notes for the highlight stream. We are going to be in a big one. We are going to be a big. We got ourselves again. The Super Million is going to have a week off, and then we're going to have another major show. Jungle Man had a scheduling conflict. He will be on the 11th, and then I know Feraldo 18th. How you live with Feraldo, or?
I did, mate. I did. That's one of my very best friends in life and in poker. Absolute awesome dude. As you know, he'll be great. He'll be a brilliant guest, I'm sure. Probably give some slightly higher level analysis than myself. But yeah, Feraldo, brilliant dude. I've got nothing but love for him. We lived together in Glasgow in Scotland for a couple of years, a little less. And yeah, awesome dude, awesome guy.
Look at this. Ole, value bet, blocker bet the river with the jack. Really nice play. King high does call, does beat hands. I apologize. I hope my volume's better. I've been looking around trying to fix my settings. I just think it's slightly better, but I might have been a little far away from the mic. So apologize. I believe we got that sussed out, and we are going to give the giveaway in a second here. So the jackpot Hendricks, good to see you. And I don't know the exact total. I know it's a progressive every week, and no one has hit the jackpot from what I am aware. So I think it's, you know, it's been doing this for a while. We've been doing the show, so it's it should be pretty big.
That's pretty amazing. I'm loving that. So what it's gonna how much is the cumulative each week, Jeff? How much does it add?
I believe it's 50 each week, but it's been a fair amount of weeks. Like it's definitely in the thousands as long as no one's hit it. And we wish you guys all luck. I mean, I hope someone. I'd love to hear someone knocking it down. That would be pretty sweet to catch the thing. And you know, I submitted mine. I actually haven't been submitting mine, and I just put it in there because if you just say it here, you type in the chat, it doesn't count. You got to go ahead and put it through on the actual link there that is pinned in the YouTube chat.
You know, if you win, Jeff, there's going to be so many accusations of rigged.
Yeah. Yeah, it is, but like I said, I'll give mine. I'll donate it back here. I'll give it away. I do have a $500 pending tweet. I gotta see if it was paid out yet. I don't know if it was. I know I did it from last week, so if not, I'll do that today if it hasn't been. But it's 100 to 5 people giving away on there. So good luck.
Good man.
All the giveaways as well as today's giveaway.
So Freedom comes in for the 3x. Obviously going to see him opening lots from the small blind especially. He's going to try and put pressure on. But of course, as Mr. Vogel sang to contend with, defends the king 6. It comes with a third pot on the flop. Christoph just lets it go. These spots I find to be so intricate where, you know, Christoph, Matthew, and Mr. So all on basically exactly the same stack. And we're going to see another clash between them here. It'll be interesting to see if Christoph does use a non-all-in. We were discussing that in the previous hand where we didn't think he would have too many, you know, induces from the small blind for around 20 bigs. He does have more now, 25. And as we see, Jeff just sends it. So going back to that previous spot does make it much less likely that he is going to have that just ace of diamonds X bluff where Freedom got away with the queen jack. Is just happy to rip it with ace king off. So everyone now with 133k, is that locked up?
Yeah, payouts lower right. Can see what playing for. ICM, of course, big 353 up top. Lines are up, and we are seeing 5,100,000 levels. So if you want to know the big blinds, I know there was a question about can we go to big blind view. We do leave it in the real chip value, so you can just divide. Obviously, it's a little easier level to do. See, we got 20 blinds as the shortest stack right now. So plenty of play here. 5-handed. Anyone up for grabs? We got 2 Brazilians, 2 Austrians. The Canadian remain, and we will see some very valuable points available here for episode 5. This is season 2023 Super Millions. Again, Jeff Gross, your host, and Adam Hedley. We are in the mix today as a very, very fun final table. I gotta say, I am there's almost been no final table where I don't like there's not like top players. It's very rare we'll like, oh, I don't recognize anyone, and today was no different. Some big names, and here Brazilian on Brazilian crime, possibly king jack, pretty strong hand, big blind button.
Yeah, interesting here for sure. Freedom obviously going to continue. He may just jam, and he has just ripped it in. Does have good blockers to the value. And big spot here, Queens v King Jack.
Wow. Big pot. Misstep, and it could be a shift in the chips. The river doesn't look like a paint card.
Clean.
I thought it was the ace, but it's not. And either way, it wouldn't have mattered as he needed a king and a king only as it turned out. Freedom. Chip leader to 5 of, well, no, not the shortest. He's actually still okay. He's still in third, but that was a big hit and a big moment for his fellow countryman there, who is in
very big swing.
Health. Big spot. Big spot. Big time stuff going right now. I mean, this is important. Every pot's important. And again, no one very short right now. We still have 20 plus big blind poker. So plenty of chips to give away. We'll queue up for you guys very shortly. Appreciate you. Let us know where you're watching from in the world. Got Scotland and the USA currently here. I know we got a very international crowd. And we are excited to see who will win this episode 5 of the Super Millions 2023.
Yeah, Christoph there just debating whether to ISO ace 9 Makes a lot of sense to have some of these mid-range aces in your range to check back at this kind of depth. You know, if he raises and gets jammed on, it's a bit of a disaster. Content to just check back. King 10-10. Going to see a lot of stabbing from Freedom. You'd expect Christoph to call with ace high. It does make the call. And Freedom now, extremely difficult to try and barrel this one off. Jeff just 8 high. No spade.
Yeah.
You'd imagine that Christoph will check a lot. Knows he's going to have the best hand, just whether he decides if he ever needs to bluff, but very unlikely to do it with ace high, I would imagine. Can just be winning.
Yeah, it's tough though too, because like you just don't know your opponent has like an absolute stone air bluff. I wonder if a small bet ever makes sense too, just to like fold out random stuff, take control, because you also, you know, a Jack X isn't gonna like raise you here. You still have equity. If he does, you know, you can set up to get bluffed if you don't take a shot here too, or
That's true.
your
Yeah.
opponent hit a random equity hand. So I'd be curious. This one's very close to. This is the one where I'm not positive on what I would do in the moment, thinking about it. It's tricky. You know, because also some of the semi-bluff hands that you were
and he does do what you suggest. That makes some sense.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the blind on blind play is so polarizing too. Like it really is. Like there's so many times there's like the hand range matchups are so wide. Like that's the thing. So I think he's also realizing there is weighted towards a lot of just stone air there, and maybe the better path to just pick up the pot in the moment and find out also where you're at, right? And even like hands that do have some equity that are even beating him, he would have equity if he gets called, and then they can't really bet the river into him and bluff. So I think that really nice recognition on a situation where Vogelsang shows his class and does play the hand very well.
Yeah, absolutely. Freedom back at it, opening the Jack 9 of spades. Gonna just take this down with a c-bet. Can't imagine Ollie will continue here with 9 high, no backdoors.
Yeah, so King 4 suited. In the small, chip lead, kind of spot where the chip leader can actually really attack too. Like a lot of very similar stack sizes, 5 left. Of course, Vogelsang too, so experienced, so aware of ICM and stuff, but also knows how dangerous Oli is. And there it is. Look at this. Pounces on it. And, you know, Vogelsang kind of, in my opinion, feels to be on the snugger side, but he also is very capable and makes aggressive plays too. So he's this is one of those ones where he knows that, and King Jack sort of in the bucket of a good 4-bet candidate hand, and also doesn't have to necessarily go 4-bet all in. Obviously, to kick it up would be a big portion of his chips, but does recognize the situation. He's kind of handcuffed there in a really nice pickup by Ole. I feel like I'm giving Ole too much praise at all times. But
you're not really wrong though, right? His timing has been unreal. In fairness, every time he does seem to be timing it perfectly. Like their King Jack off, just not quite strong enough to rip it in, and also very difficult to defend pre off sort of 23 bigs. And yeah, every hand. In fairness, Jeff Ole, he's played not perfect so far. I can't argue with it, my friend. He's just been bang on it and picks it up with a nice 3-bet bluff.
Yeah, I gotta say, like I've done, I don't know, 40 of these or so, and I'm just impressed a lot with the quality of play and even unknowns that play very well too. And it's cool because there are satellite options. People get in for $10, $100, come in and play at 10K, and then it's like there's such big. Imagine being in for 100 or even 500 or 1,000, and then you're playing for 350 grand. It's on the great production that GG puts on, and of course, like some of the biggest names to be playing with in here. And here we see a couple sort of unknown usernames that I am not familiar with, and they seem to be playing very well, and likely one of their bigger scores online. I mean, look, I play online poker a long time. To get 6-figure scores, they're not. It's a big deal, right? There's a big money.
Oh, absolutely,
massive score for online poker.
No, yeah, I couldn't agree more. And the Super Millions in particular, Like I know from speaking to peers and friends, like amazing addition, to the online calendar. People love it, and like you say, nice to be able to satellite in from sort of lower stakes buy-ins and get into these online 10Ks and a nice mixture of absolute seasoned thoroughbreds. And yeah, I don't recognize these Brazilian screen names myself. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of digging into the Google Streets, see if we can find out who it is. But check to the river here, Freedom with the pair of fives. Christoph is good with his six. I think there's some potential for either of them to put in a little bit of a value bet here. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see Freedom bet one big. We can get called by a three, a deuce, some potential other hands, and Christoph likely just going to click the call button here with his six. It's going to be good most of the time. I would imagine he's debating whether to ever value raise, but it seems too thin with just the six. He's going to know he's good. And yeah, does click call, takes down a small one. You never know with these guys though, Jeff, right? Like they're so good that they could potentially find these very thin value raises, but I think a six just a little too weak.
Yeah, dynamic board again, wide ranges, two pair, a lot of combos in there. I think the sizing, he's gonna think he's good most of the time, but yeah, not too much value get called by worse to raise there. So nice spot. And here, Queen 7, the computer hand heads up. Queen 7 suited actually is better than that. We are not heads up. It's multi five-handed poker and blind on blind, though. Definitely a interesting spot. And then look at the sizing. This is a bit unconventional with this type of hand.
Very unconventional.
Min raise. You expect like 3x or more. And as it turns out, let's see how it plays as we see the 7 pairs, and now a6 off does get a really poor flop for the limp call range here. So I don't know if there'd be much chips put in by Ole here, or feel a need to. I don't think he's going to like this board.
I would agree. And any chance that's a misclick? Because as you say, that's very, very unconventional, not something you would really expect to see. You never know. Might have been typing out a raise and as misclick, not impossible. But could be. We've been down a few branches of the game tree, Jeff, that we don't see too often. Yeah, Christoph now with bottom pair, I would expect him to check it over.
Yeah, and also, this is type of spots where depending, it's a bad flop, but now it's on the king of hearts, you got a heart. Maybe you realize like also you raise, so now you get to have ace king and hands. So now he goes for attack. So it goes from sort of like a give up or not liking the situation to a aggressive play and going big here size. And again, not fun to play against when you just feel like you're getting puppeted in every spot. Like it's like you check back on a flop or check again and then he just like finds ways to find a way to win the pot and put your hand in a tremendous amount of pressure.
Yeah, it makes sense for Ollie to go big here. Obviously, another one of these spots where we're fairly polar. Going to be mostly representing the king after, check, flop. But Vogel, he is aware. It's just interesting with that min raise pre, it kind of muddies the waters in this hand. And Vogel does find turn call. And Ole, we saw him earlier. He went for it with the ace-5 suited against Ben CB early doors in a similar kind of spot to this, where, Vogel is going to have a good amount of this flop, but would have to fold further down the streets. But finds the call with just the 7, and Ole shuts it down. Very nice pickup for Christoph. And, we're seeing a lot of high-class play post-Jeff, as we would expect with this lineup. Very strong turn call from Christoph there.
Yeah, really strong. 3 million to Christoph. He's sitting very healthy. Hasn't really been too much adversity. Sort of just started down, got down to 1.6 million. He's back up to 3.2 and done it playing post flop. As we see, Freedom likes to play a lot of hands. 8s will certainly be one of them.
Another interesting one here for Ole. I think you'll see call a lot. You don't really want to 3-bet get it in here for 25 bigs. Don't think ace-jack suited will do very well. It's content to just call. And Freedom's still good with 8s with the backdoor diamonds. You can go either way here, but you would expect to see a bunch of c-betting. Try and get protection. Only going to have a lot of, as we see, it's kind of broadways, but he is going to check. And does go check, check, and just drills the set of 8s on the turn.
Yeah, nice spot. Very wet board. 2 flush draws there, double flush board. There's straight draws all over the place, and he does put a 60, two-third bet size on the turn. And Ole, though, I mean, this doesn't look attractive, right? You're like guessing if you're ahead, you're beating hands, but what rivers? And this guy's also not afraid to pull the trigger and bluff, and ultimately just decides that not a good spot. So does give it up, although he didn't love it, and he was in a world of hurt. So nice fold there. Although can't blame him, right? That's not too appealing to call 400 on that board where you're ace high and just in no man's land guessing. So good release. Freedom doing his best, still 27, 28 big blinds.
Yeah, even against the semi-bluffs, right? We're not in the best of shape, as you said. His timing was right yet again. Gets away. Matthew going for the limp with the ace-6. A bunch of interesting post-flop spots we've had. 9-7-5.
Yeah,
Matthew's still good.
Queen 6, Queen 4, 260 in the middle. Not a huge pot. Every pot important, of course. Queen 4, really no equity, right? No semi-bluff equity. Decides Queen high also possibly good. Decides to check. Although generally in these spots when your opponent would have some sort of draw if you're not reading. So I think kind of realizing Queen high is not good, most likely here, right? Or it's hard for your opponent to just sort of, I guess you're just sort of content. And
yeah, Matthew really repping, some kind of weak showdown with the checking it down to the river. Freedom probably aware here, as you said, Jeff, Queen high is not going to be good too often, but maybe sometimes, we can chop up or, win against. It seems unlikely, but does elect to just shut it down and not stab. Matthew will be happy with that. Takes it down with just ace high.
Yeah, couple tens, nice spot. Gonna just get the chips. No contest. No one has something to play with there.
Feels like also right in that spot that Freedom's likely going to bet a 9 on the flop. Very likely to bet a jack on the turn. So once we get to the river there and we want to start telling the story that we're going for value, really repping a 7 that's checked 2 streets, maybe a 5 for very thin river value. So not too easy there to represent too many really strong hands.
Yeah. And this did look like it could sort of separate. We saw the big Freedom stack. Also Ole, the big stack still has a good stack, but sort of tightened up, right? Things are sort of evenish now between 20 blinds. So still a lot of play, wide open for anyone to win.
Yeah.
Announce the giveaway here as soon as we lose one more. And we will, at the moment, Vogel's saying kind of just, again, pipped. He's just pipped. It's tough to play out of position. You got a good hand, blind on blind, ace-8 suited, somehow behind, ace-9 playing currently, 6-6-7, 2 clubs, board pair, Ole with the ace of clubs, just kind of has a nice thing here. And look at this, a queen, no player makes a pair, ace-9 is actually, right, they chop that 6-6, jack, queen, so it's a chop. If it can get to a river, I believe, right?
Yeah, Ole just going for value on the flop. One big blind, gonna have the best hand a lot of the time. Backdoor flush draw, just a really going for a value bet on the flop. And yep, as you said, both check it down and gonna chop it up. And this is for sure anybody's game. It's the stacks are pretty condensed. Even the short stack, Matthew, if he doubles, gonna be up to second in chips. So often a feature of these FTs once they start getting shallow. The dinner bet is very live. I was looking strong, but it's not so strong now. Ollie just going to go ahead and open for value with ace jack. Pretty clear defend here with queen 10. Lots of these interesting flops post where no one has like a great piece. Very interesting. And using this min bet, Ola, I guess just targeting what So has, right? A bunch of these sort of queen 10, 9-10s, jack 10s that are just going to fold. It does get it done. He's got the moves, Ollie, right? Yeah, he's got the moves, Jeff. He does some things that are unexpected, but makes it work perfectly.
Yep, look at the payouts there. What's happened so far? Still a lot of money up for grab. Everyone going to receive 6 figures. Still remaining. Very nice purse. Again, the ROI 10K buy-in from Sunday final table every week. Tuesday, 2:45 Eastern. We'll have a special guest on the weeks. Next week will be no show. We'll be back the 11th with a, let's see, 11th, 18th for Aldo will be the 18th. Jungle Man the 11th. And we are going to be big tournaments in the prize pools have seemed really nice and good turnout. 179 entrants today. And it's from Sunday. Pause at the final 9 and play the final table Tuesday, 2:45 Eastern. Satellites available if GG is your it's your home for the biggest action. That's what it is. Hopefully your region has it. Certain well, US doesn't have it. Certain countries don't have it, but it is a it's a cool spot. And if you're in the giveaway trying to win and you don't have a GG account because of the place you are not able to play where you live, you could always gift it to a friend. Surely, if you love poker, you have a friend who's somewhere in a country that's eligible. Put their GG username. Once I do give you that giveaway, keyword plus your GG username, and then you could give it to them, gift it, take a piece, gift them part of it, let them play, and hopefully spin it up on the $50 or $100 giveaway. As we see 9 million in chips for Team Austria, which the audience has for the 100. Versus what? 4, it's called 2, 6, 8. So slight edge for the $100 giveaway.
It's close. It's very close.
It is close for sure.
This could get very interesting, Jeff. A bunch of playable hands. Vogel going to open up with the ace 10. Ollie peeling with 7s. And Freedom with a very interesting decision with Queen Jack suited here. Sometimes you can see a squeeze jam in these spots, for 24 bigs. And yeah, I'm not surprised to see him take it. And we can see against these two exact hands, probably going to get through. This is close, but I think Ollie will just fold. Yeah. Freedom, playing well, playing aggressive poker, not afraid. Rips it in and gets 2 better hands to fold. Always a good result. The Brazilians, Jeff, they're not scared. They're here to win.
No fear. A lot of passion, no fear. It's tough to play against.
It is. Yeah, so debating a 3-bet. Got a very large size. In position, 7.5 bigs.
Ace 4 suited, one of those nice hands to get. Kind of tricky. You feel obligated almost to be aggressive. 3-bet, 4-bet jam, those type of things, but you can run into some trouble. Ace is a lot easier, more fun to play. There it is, 2 aces right after the ace 4 suited. It doesn't look like a customer. Maybe let's see, Ole, queen 4 off, closing the big blind. Also, very interesting part of the game is the big blind defense. Where to defend, where not to, what positions, how wide, and good discipline there. Obviously, we see the aces, but queen 4 off, just some players you will see defend wider than others. And Ole, again, just sort of textbook, knows what to do. Vogel saying not going to open the king 7 off on the button off his 26 big blinds. Let Ole go to work in the small, as we see again. Jack 9, 10, 8. Same type of thing. Brazilian maybe just content to take a flop with the okay playable hand. Does check back. Ole pairs top pair. Jack 3 deuce, 2 hearts. Top pair in the lead. 260 in the middle. Does go for the 1BB bet.
Yeah, typically going to see a bunch of small stabs. And this is, of course, in modern poker, we've got 3 to a straight. Sorry, 3 to a flush, excuse me, with plenty of backdoors working for us. It's also content to float flop. Does improve to a gutter on the turn. Ollie is going to have just some flop stabs, right, with complete air that do give up. Here, going for a second street of value with the jack. What do you do now, Jeff? Once you floated flop, you have improved to a gutter. Some potential for shenanigans, but it is a very large size from Ole. Makes some sense to fold, I think.
2 flush draws, has a heart and a diamond. If you really want to get creative, right?
Yeah.
You say, hey, I'm going to close my eyes, call, and rip one of those color cards, but doesn't go for it. Ole again, just picking it up, and 5.7 million. He is your chip leader, very tight across the board. The rest of the players, I mean, at the moment, it's shaking up for a Brazil-Austria matchup, which would be a lot on the line. Dinner implications. There's There's the audience 50 or 100 implications. We got a lot of action for you right now at home, and we're ready to do the giveaway. We get down to 4 when I can give you the keyword.
Never mind the ICM implications. All about the dinner implications, Jeff.
Dinner, hey, look, I would bring my wife. Are you? I don't know. Are you have kids, married? What's your thing? I mean, can I bring?
Oh, he's putting me on the spot. I'm living with my lovely lady over in Cork in Ireland for most of the time at the moment. The lovely Jade, yeah, she's awesome, and we were both in Ireland a bunch. We got the Irish Open coming up next week. I'm going to play, and she works as massage occasionally at some of the events, so she'll be in the mix as well. So if you want to extend the dinner bet to 2v2,
+1. We can do
all right, let's do it.
+1, I love it. Very nice. I've been to Dublin. I went to a EPT a long time ago, I believe, and it was cool. I went to like the Cliffs of Moher, if I'm pronouncing it right, and saw some stuff. It was very beautiful, cool place. That was fun to go there.
Yeah, big fan of Ireland. Like, it's an awesome place. And you've never been Irish Open, Jeff? Never been?
No, I think it was EPT. I have not been to that. Who's sponsoring that right now? Who's in charge of that?
Oh, that's a very good question. That is a very good question. I think it might be Paddy Power, which is like one of the Irish bookies, I think. And there's a bunch of there's satellites everywhere for that as well. And that is one of the most fun stops like on the tour for sure. So if you ever get the chance, so much fun, beautiful city. Lots of people, the Irish love the game, love a few Guinness. There's definitely something that it's something you got to experience once in your life for absolute sure. Ollie with the 10 jacks suited. And you can go either way here, open pre or limp. Interesting, both flop and straight draws. Gut shot for Ollie, 2 overs.
Ooh.
So with the open ender.
Yeah, 10
this could be a fun one.
A 10 would be a problematic card for Ole. I'm trying to get action cards. I mean, a 5 would be obviously make the straight, but you just have 10 high here. He pairs the 6 now open ended. So this was a nice card for our Brazilian friend here who is open ended with the thing. Although again, Ole, he's not a give up guy. He puts a lot of pressure. This is not just a cakewalk for sure that he gets to win or show down this hand. At the moment though, he does jump into the lead, has a good equity. The spades are a little concerning. Both players. No player has a spade though.
Yeah, interesting. So content to check turn. We can just be good. It's obviously a disaster to bet and get raised in a spot like this. Now 4 to the flush on the river. Obviously, all he knows his hand is never good. His timing's been very good, Jeff. He can pick it off again. He does find it 75% or so. I mean, it's probably going to work. It's really tough here for Soso to find a call. He could rebluff, but it's pretty tough. Pretty tough to represent too many spades in our hand that want to raise river. He could have some ace-x, the check back pre for sure at depth, but... And he does find a rebluff. Wow, I want to play.
Hand of the day, I would say. I mean, just an absolute sick play. I mean, sick.
Ollie, can you find the rebluff for an absolute hand of the final table?
That rebluff here would be up
it would be unbelievable.
That season hands of the thing. That was, I mean, again, you can't count it out, right? It's like he just knows, like, if it doesn't make sense, he may put you in the blender there. But great hand there. So making above, not much more than a so play. That was a
great play.
Also, again, recognizing what is your perceived image. Daniel Negreanu talks about this as what is one of the biggest skill sets of poker players to know how you're perceived by others at the table. Also, Soso's been pretty in line, not really ever looking too out of line, and then he just finds a spot where maybe he just feels like my opponent can never think that I would be bluffing here, right? Like, and just attacks. So,
yeah, great hand. Very nicely played from Soso.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, Matthew's just going to send it here. You know, he knows all they're going to be very wide. We have a suited ace-x, round about 15 bigs. Shortest stack at the table. Going to have to find spots to get it in. Picks it off. Yeah, that was good. That was a great hand. Beautiful play. Freedom here again with a potential 3-bet all-in type holding. So dicey these spots, you know, when the ICM implications are so huge. But we've seen he's been very fearless so far.
Yeah, he's 3 of 5, you know, even though the shorter stacks are close to his holding, but you know, it's still, look at 5th place money, 133, and 3rd. You know, it's decent, big risk. And wow, man, my man's got heart. My man has
I'm
got
not
heart.
surprised to see it, you know. Ole going to be opening very wide, as we said. You know, even hands as strong as Ace-10 and stuff are going to have to fold here. And yeah, Freedom's just playing a win, man. Not scared. This has been a really great view, a great watch so far. Some amazing play, and you know, everybody fearless. It's great to see. And it's still anyone's game, Jeff. Super close stacks. Any double, even from the shorty, right? They're basically chip leader. Ollie and So with round 3 of the blind on blind. He's going to take the bottom of his range and go for an ISO. And here we go, Jeff. Ollie, not a folder. He's going to defend with Queen 10 and both flop top pair. Could be trouble for our Brazilian. Or one of our Brazilians, I should say. Both players check. Not that surprised to see a check from So. You know, you don't want to play a massive one here. When Ollie does limp call, he is going to connect with his flop pretty well. Content to check back with his weak top pair. Makes some sense, right? Like you don't want to inflate and play a huge one here against Ollie, but this is going to be action. Wow. I mean, you'd imagine this goes.
I think he's going to go big. 7.
Big from Ollie, I think most likely goes big.
800. He's just going to go. He knows like Ace X would maybe even possibly check back. I don't think he's that worried about the flush.
Yeah, there it is.
Big bet. Gets called, of course.
Yeah, I mean, he has to.
Trips when you're beating pretty much everything but a flush, but you don't think a 10X is in the range there, and that is a big pot. Ole getting a little bit loose right now. He's got 2X essentially, second place, getting close to 2X there. So dangerous lead for Ole. 8.5 for Team Austria versus the rest of the field. Again, you guys, you have 50 versus 100. And HNDRX has won. D-Negs on the stream. D-Negs, let's actually the busy man too, but he loves final tables. He loves commentary. I think we get Daniel. He's been on my podcast a couple times, and I think Daniel's he's one of those guys that loves poker too, right? I think he that. He actually takes it like a. I think he would like to see what's actually currently happening online in the 10Ks and the highest stakes online tournaments. He's definitely one of the more impressive. Of course, on 3rd on the all-time money list, 50 million live earnings, GG face of GGPoker, and also just sort of one of the guys like Seidel, you know, a few guys that have been around, Ivy, that have been around from the very beginning and now are competing with the new solver world and toughest players, young guys in the world. He sort of just withstood the test of time. So always root for Daniel. He's a great ambassador for poker. For sure.
Yeah, very well said. One of the absolute OGs, probably arguably the most recognizable name in our game, you know, and as you said, yeah, continuing to move with the times. You know what it's like these days, Jeff. The game moves. Even at this FT, we're seeing things that we're not, you know, even a few years ago you wouldn't have seen. And it's great to see. Freedom opening the Queen 10 of clubs. Both players with a gutter. Freedom comes with quarter pot. You see this a lot on these, you know, paired boards. And Ollie with potential to raise. Yeah, you do see lots of raising on these pair boards. Don't think Freedom can fold here ever. 2 overs, backdoor flush draw, gut shot of his own. And this could get spicy, Jeff. Turns the straight, but Ole picking up a flush draw. Well, you can see he's drawing dead.
This is
definitely a hand that can fire off here.
Oh, this is got. I mean, this is and he takes this is he's got 6 high, a great semi bluff hand as well, and I just I don't
Yeah,
see
he's
him not. And this
always
is
going for it on the turn for sure.
dangerous here. This is similar opposites time where he had he had the nuts where Freedom was bluffing into him, and here Freedom
Yeah.
is bluffing in. It's a reversal, and we might see a reverse in the chip lead again. And look at this hand. I mean, you got the nuts straight plus a open ended straight flush draw. You're really not scared of anything here. I mean, obviously the full house, but that's just already present. If it's that's one of those things so hard to make a boat, and he does just call him. This
Oh
actually
wow! When did he...
insane.
Holy Shemian has a chance to win the pot
Oh
now
my
if he can
god, this
find
is
it.
insane.
Oh, what a hand! Just there on the turn, I think Freedom debating whether to send it on the turn. No, Ollie does give it up.
And Freedom's
Oh,
gonna
it would have
hate
been
it,
sick
but
to see him. Would have been sick to see him
he's
find
gonna
it.
hate that card, but he is gonna be happy to be able to check back and win.
Oh, what a
That's
hand!
for sure. What a hand. That would have been interesting. I mean, look, a club, he's getting it all. Some bricks too, he might get it. So
Yeah,
big moment there. Ole giving
yeah,
credit.
big river for sure. Ole gets somewhat fortunate, I guess, that the board pair is probably thinking that Freedom has too many, Jack 10, Queen Jacks that have now improved to about 9x, right? That already are slow playing. Would have been super interesting to see what imagine Ole finds the river shove. But yeah, nice pot for Freedom. We've seen some really interesting post flop hands. We're gonna have to go back and watch it, Jeff. There's a lot to unpack.
Sick stuff. Sick game. Poker's a beautiful game. That's why I love final tables so much. Like ICM, this, that. Like you never know who's coming to play, who's going for the win, who wants the ladder. Yeah. Different day. Anyone can always win. It's such a beautiful game. It is. It's just No Limit Hold'em is so pure. The tournament No Limit Hold'em. I love it. I just absolutely love it. You play any 4-card, 5-card? You play any PLO? Any types of other games, or are you more No Limit?
I'd like to say that I have any type of idea, Jeff. I'm the massive whale in any of those games. I have played, I've played and dabbled, but I'm not the best. Like pretty much a slave to the No Limit streets. But yeah, what about yourself? I'm not too good. I mean, when I have dabbled, I can't say it's gone very well.
Yeah, it is a fun game. A 5-card PLO becoming super popular South Florida, just in general in the U.S. Apparently 6-card. I think they're saying it's been played for a long time in the UK, like in Nottingham and stuff.
Yeah, they love it, man. They love it. People
crazy.
Just keep adding on. They just keep adding more and more cards. People just love to be DGens.
What's too many? At some point, you need 5 for the community. So what? There's 47. You got 7. I mean, is 7? I've never heard of 7, but I guess that's probably a thing too. It's somewhere. They played it somewhere, I'm sure. No.
It's next in the mix, mate. That's the 2024 iteration when we get there. 7 card.
7 cards, 6-handed. You could do.
Carnival games, mate. Anyway, Matthew.
7-card high low,
yeah. Matthew with 19 bigs here. Yeah, still a little room to 3-bet fold, which I presume is what he's doing. Makes some sense. Stacks are getting very shallow, so you can still have some wiggle room to flick a 3-bet fold in there, even off sub 20. And so if he sniffs this out, another one of these spots that we've seen all night, Jeff. This is very polar. Shouldn't have too many hands that want to induce, right, for 19 bigs. I mean, if So sniffs this out, we saw him sniff out the 8-6, the potential to rebluff. Not folded yet. Pretty sick if he finds it. It does fold. But yeah, you were referencing the final table action. Often at final tables, you will see that play has gone, I think with ICM, play has gone too far on the tight side. Not being the case at this final. Everybody going for the win. Great to see.
Yeah, it is fun to watch when it's more action. Definitely people not afraid overall here. And that's the thing, you don't know. Is it a satellite winner? Is someone, are they pressed for cash? Are they just like going for wins only? Like everyone's kind of at different times, just have different situations and a different strategy how they play on any given day as well. So it's it is fun. That's why it is fun, because there's not everyone playing the same way. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Blinds are up 7140K.
And yeah, Freedom after that hand. He's back in the mix. He had a few little rocky spell, but back basically in the joint chip lead with Ola.
Yeah, technical chip lead, essentially to the chip tied. Obviously, this pot will change things. And Matthew, who's been fairly in line, ace-6 in the versus Ole is so wide with the stack, could step out here and get himself into trouble. I don't know if it would be let's see, 142 ace, so less than 20 big blinds, and does just fold. Nice discipline there. Interesting.
Yeah, very well timed with Ole with the ace queen. Again, with the blinds up now, really becoming more and more dicey for the short stacks. Less playability. Ollie's starting to put his foot on the pedal. You would expect at some stage, Jeff, for somebody to break away from the pack. Generally can happen. Still waiting for it. Very close stacks.
We saw a little separation for a moment, and now it's sort of back into very tight. And Vogelsang not really able to get unhinged. And here's one, the suited wheel. You see the snap, the rapid fold there for ace-9 off. So really well executed. One of the powers of that suited wheel raise is you do get better ace highs to fold. I mean, ace-9 not considering, even ace-10, ace-jack going to be difficult decisions.
Yep, very much a feature of this final. We've seen, you see lots of this blocker-related 3-bet bluffing. So nicely executed again. Did it with the ace-4. The ace-4 of hearts earlier. Finds it again with the ace-deuce. Pretty fearless. Everybody going for it. Could be some potential here. Of course, Ollie gonna 3-bet, you would imagine, with the queens. Already seen Freedom be completely unafraid to fight back. King Queen, though, not typically a hand that you see people 4-bet all in too often with, and Ollie pretty large size. Well, not so large. Around about 7.5 bigs.
Ooh, yeah, definitely. This is one of those hands that is in the 4-bet. What's it, right? Yeah, so 140, 280. It's all right. 3. I'm sorry, 3. Yeah, it's definitely a spot you could get in trouble here and put a re-raise in.
Yeah, around about 35 bigs effective to start the hand. Not too much wiggle room, to 4-bet non all in. Pretty sick. I mean, I would imagine he will be considering all his options. Yeah, not surprised to just see fold. Wow, they're going to tangle again. Ollie find an ace-king of diamonds. We did see him, Jeff, early at the final. Freedom 4-bet rip into Ottomar's ace-king. And he had exactly ace-7 suited. Same spot developing. Did see him send it, but obviously this situation a lot different. Same stack depth as Ollie. Whereas he was a huge chip leader at that time, from memory.
It might just be his, yeah.
This is the non-all-in 4-bet.
It's the special one for him, and yeah, he did the ace-7 clubs earlier. Stepped in, got a chop actually. That was against Otto, I believe, earlier. So yeah, very very lucky spot here. He's stepping out into a really difficult spot, and Ole just call.
Oh wow!
Get the pot you all wanted.
Oh, this is it.
Get a massive pot. I mean, there will be separation. There will be blood. Needs a red card, but Ole just calls with the ace king. Curious, does he let him with the 10% pot with the heart draw?
I think he just calls. Like, this is a spot where, of course, against the 4-bet range, very polar from Freedom, representing hands like aces and kings, which we, of course, block. And so other than that, there's lots of bluffs, lots of 4-bet bluffs like a hand that Freedom has that Ollie is just going to want to allow him to barrel off. So yeah, not surprised to see Ollie just call at all. Wow, this is going to be a sick one. Very high chance we get to a river here. I don't expect Ollie to jam turn here. But it really doesn't achieve too much. You want to keep in the bluffs of Freedom.
Yeah, I mean,
typically when you jam, you just run into value, right? So pretty interesting spot to see what Freedom decides on this river. It does break out. We don't normally want to bluff hearts, but we know we're no good. And it's super difficult to get Ollie to fold really anything on this river. Maybe he folds a hand like queens or jacks that doesn't want to get it in pre.
Yeah, queens, jacks, tens. That's about it that you're beating.
Yeah, gives up. It makes a lot of sense. I think we have to give up here with the nut flush draw.
Does Ole go really small here, you think, to charge? He just does he? Maybe king queen though, right? He could have like a king queen that he decides can't fold out. He might. I don't know. This is.
I mean, that might be the only hand. Might be the only hand that and Jeff, you've called it. Makes sense to go small, but potentially, induce some crazy spew river play from freedom. I can't imagine it ever happens. I'm sure he's done with the hand, but Ollie, yet again, on point. Aware that, when he jams, all the give-ups just snap fold. Trying to induce some shenanigans with this, was it 12% or so? 12% river bet.
Yeah, no, that's fun. I mean, it just feels like Ole is just so dialed in, man. He just seems so
yeah.
Like, here just to go with sizings. It's almost like disrespectful in a way, right? Like he's just like, I know you got nothing.
Yeah, very nice awareness.
Stacks your hand. You don't happen to have king jack or king queen and go for it all. Like I just think you have air ball, and I'm gonna bet really small. And yeah, nice hand. 8 million for Ole in command now. Well,
yeah, there we go. He does. We did say we expected somebody to break away, and Ollie with around about half the chips in play now. Little shade under. Little does he know, Jeff, that could have been very nasty. Any heart comes there, could have been busto. Would have been super difficult to get away.
Do you think Ole a heart river and he jams or bets big? Does he fold? Do it or no?
Pretty sick. You'd like to have more time to consider the analysis on that one, Jeff. But some of the 4-bet bluffs might be. I'm not sure if Freedom is going to 4-bet bluff a hand like Ace Queen or Ace Jack pre-flop, like offsuit, which would be some potential river bluffs if they were to jam river on a heart. Very tough to get away from Ace King suited there, I think. Like basically close to stone top of our range, right? Apart from a trapped pocket aces, you would say. Very interesting hand. We've had a lot of them, lots to unpack from this final. It's been brilliant to watch.
Yeah, fun one for sure. Appreciate everyone at home watching again. Giveaway getting ready to queue up here. Once we get the four-handed, we'll put the keyword in there. Thumbs up, first part of that giveaway. And of course, the hands up. Last time I'm going to mention it because that heads up, it stops for the day. $50 jackpot, I guess. King of heart, 9 of diamonds. Guess specific hand. I don't know if that pinned link is still there on the YouTube channel, but you guys can. It does get put up now and again, and you guys can enter in that each week. If not this week, it'll be there the next, unless someone gets it right. Well, it'll be reset, but it's healthy. $50 a week jackpot going up every week until someone guesses it right. So, what was your guess? Jack 8 of diamonds for the winning?
Yeah, well, I haven't entered it because I'm too scared of the tech, and I'm gonna leave it to the viewers at home, the loyal viewers.
I love it.
I'm not in there like you, Jeff, trying to scoop the pot.
I'm Robin Hood. I'm trying to win it and get it.
If Jack 8 of diamonds wins, though, I'm officially retiring.
Yeah, you need to call it. I mean, that would be too much, but yeah, that is an available for the viewers again. 50 or 100 as well. We'll give away today, and we have our dinner bet. But a lot of action, a lot going on. Is March Madness a thing? Do you watch that in the UK or not really? I doubt it, right? It's not like
lots of these days very popular American sports. Lots of my boys would be watching it for sure. Lots of people will. This is a very controversial take, Jeff. I don't think there's one really good American sport. You can hate me all you want. I'm sorry, buddy. Oh no, am I in trouble? Have I said the wrong thing?
No, I get it. Who's your team? Who do you support over there?
For football, my whole family are Manchester United fans. And that's been for 30 plus years. I've been getting abuse for that for a long time too. We were very much the most hated team in the land for the last sort of 20 years. So I was getting a lot of abuse for it. But my brother tried to talk me into baseball, and I followed the Marlins for a little while, the Florida Marlins. That's about the extent of my knowledge.
The Miami Marlins. Yeah. Wow. Miami Marlins, I think.
Are they? Has it changed? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, Jet. we can stop talking about American sports because Freedom is going to be in trouble here.
Yeah.
I think open shove, yeah, I'm not surprised, like, because Ollie can just reshove on him. And this is massive. If Ollie holds here, ace king versus ace 10 for Freedom.
4.7 milli, and it is
bit of a cooler.
Looking grim. Turn is an ace, and now just that little 10 only he would need. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
No,
it's a club.
Club 9. It is a club, and it is GG for our friend who played quite a game.
Played really well.
And yeah. It is four-handed. We're going to put the giveaway keyword. It will be, let's see, GG.
And Vogel just casually continuing to grind it out. He's going to send this for sure. 9 big blinds on the button. And should get this one through. I don't imagine Ollie will ever call.
All right, giveaway's live. $50 or $100. That's the keyword. GGPoker. Andy. Space. So it's GGPoker space Andy. Space your GGPoker username or a friend or whoever you want to give it to if you don't have one. But that is there, and we are live for that giveaway. Once we get to heads up, I'll announce the winner.
I'm honored, Jeff. I'm at a keyword. That's very, very.
It is nice, right? There's gonna be a lot of Andys in the chat talking Andy. We are gonna be seeing to a winner here as we are down to 4. We will play to a winner, and it's 2:45 for 2.5. Yeah, it's getting about the right time. It's been roughly 3-hour shows, and there you go. There it is in the chat. You are eligible, and we'll stop that. You gotta hit the thumbs up as well to be entered, and we hope you have enjoyed the show today. We're getting to the thick of it now. 4 left. Getting to it. This is now crunch time. Big money up top, big pay jumps, a lot to play for. That title, of course, very nice to get a title and the Super Millions. And Ole, 11 million plus. He's got them all. I mean, that's it's like an art to get everyone in the same four-handed with a massive lead, all around the same chips. And Vogel saying with his stack, just gonna go ahead and bet commit.
I mean, in a few hands' time, it's going to get really interesting. Ollie, of course, now arguments to just be open shoving, like with lots and lots of hands, which is what I imagine you will see when the blinds go up. All of his opponents are going to be basically in the 10 to 15 big blind realm. But
one for Vogel saying to raise, to shove, or even to fold, like with the stack sizes and the situation. Do you maybe just too much hand to not play it all in? You realize how tight the other players are, but look, he does pass. So interesting hand. If I were to, a hand to notes for today, I would.
And Ollie ripping it in, as we said, he's going to do lots of open shoving now. You would think probably just min raises with real value and complete and utter air most of the time, and then just rips the rest of his equity. And yeah, Jeff, there you go, ripping 7-5 of diamonds. One of the hands that wants to shove, and 2 big hands behind. I mean, so what do you do? This is these ICM disaster spots where, we're 2 of 4 and there's a ladder of $100,000 between 4th and 2nd. I mean, what do you do? Pocket tens. He's not going to fold it. Flicks it in.
It's actually a better hand than ace queen, right? Because of these situations, it's not live. And now here we go. Tens in good shape, about 9-1 favorite with 1 card to fade.
We haven't had a river drama card, and it doesn't look like it.
I think
the OGG peel improves the trip tens.
5.5 million. That was a big pot, and really going to be tough for Matthew and Vogelsang now, that are significantly tied for so short 10 blind range. But Ole went for the full run over and just immediately runs into the buzzsaw. It's also part of the equation. If you get a couple of those through, everyone just gets whittled down more, and so right away gets a double from a guy and that it had a healthier stack. So that was not as he drew it up, but hey, no one said it would be easy, right?
For sure. And as we were referencing, most of his min raises come from really good hands and complete air. And most of that middle of the range hands that have good equity, we just pile them in. I mean, even there against an ace king call off, we're doing fine. Against an ace queen suited, we're doing fine. Just unfortunate to run into, pocket tens plus of so. And as you were saying, Jeff, as well, I think the pocket pairs perform very well because Ollie's jams are going to be a lot of, ace ace rag, king rag that we do very well against with sort of nines, tens, jacks type hands. Matthew gets one through with fives.
Yeah, nice, nice, important pot. So, man, who would have thought his fellow Brazilian was a chip leader, looked in control. Couple of big pots didn't go his way, and here it is, ace four suited, just going to put it down.
Ends it in.
I mean, that's a big send, right? Versus the 5 mil stack there. I don't think everyone's making that play.
Yeah, it's just one of these, I think, that where even when we jam there, Soso's call-off range again has to be just so tight, and us holding an ace, stopping him, you know, from having like an ace-king or an aces. I believe it's definitely making money, but Ollie Shemian. Wow, what a life. And we saw Soso fold a 10. Matthew going to be in terrible shape here. Oh, wow, he's actually going to induce. This is interesting. I'm not sure. I think Ollie may just call some of the time. He goes for the min click. Wow. Wow, what do you imagine your Matthew? This is so strange.
I mean, yeah, you're hoping to just get the fold. I think he still just hits a rip. I mean, you're just like, think Ole could be messing around. Maybe you have tens, it's four-handed. Like, you know, does he ever do this and whatever? I don't see just a call. I just can't imagine like you.
Yeah, and it goes. And Ole has him in terrible shape, as we saw. Soso folded a 10 already. Basically drawn to one out.
Yeah, needs a 10. 10 only. One in the deck. Low percentage. We saw one burn, and it is going to be a jack. So not enough. Matthew, the Canadian, going to go down. And here we go. 2 Austrians and 1 Brazilian. Looking good for the team $100 giveaway. Because it was either 50 or 100.
And Vogel just quietly ladders up to 3rd place, Jeff. He's been the shortest since about 600, I think. And yeah, again, as we had said earlier, Ole is going to do a lot of open shoving with hands that have okay equity.
Yeah, 3-handed. Vogel saying short, getting ready for a heads up match, possibly. Although Vogel saying not going to roll over. And here we go, dominating spades. And a very nice hand, likely just, again, gonna potentially just send this in, pick it up. But either way, he is in a good shape for this hand at the moment.
Yeah, very interesting. Benefits of just calling, of course, we dominate lots of hands that Ole is going to just raise fold. As we'd said already, when he has these kind of really trashy hands, he is going to raise fold them. But Vogel does rip it in. And he's still right in the hunt, Jeff. You know what? Things can happen quickly. 1 double up. That's all that's necessary. This potentially could be an all-in call. Vogel with around about 12 bigs. Does send it. Yeah. Here we go.
Important pot. Big pay jumps. Could get to a heads-up match. It is a clean start for Ole.
Wow.
that was the
Holy Shemian.
Just no mercy, no sweat. Over on the turn. Heads up battle. Here we go. 2.5 hours in the show. Hope you're enjoying at home. Brazil versus Austria. Advantage audience for the $100 giveaway. And do we even have a sweat? You have Ole, right? And I don't have.
I think I have both. I think that's dinner, baby.
Gee, that's it, man. All right. Wow. +1. And that hurts. That was not fun to not really have a real sweat. But hey, congrats on that.
I ran pure, buddy.
Pure. Appreciate you being on. Look at this hand. This could be a big pot as well. We got a pair and open-ended versus open-ended.
Oh wow, Ole has diamonds.
Wow.
We got sidetracked by dinner. Back to the action.
Yeah, big hand here. And hello. Oh my goodness. Is this over in a second? We got straight versus flush here. I'm going to announce the winner. I'm going to give you guys one more second to hit the thumbs up. And you can type in the GGPoker space Andy space your GGPoker username. It could be over right here. I mean, especially with the sizing. Look at this. He's going to build it to I mean, this could be it. This could be the shortest heads up match we've ever seen on GGPoker. This might literally be over in 1 second. and I think it is. I mean, he's just going to go for it. Obviously, he's got a flush. There's a possible he does block the straight, so it's a little less likely his opponent has it, but he has it.
Yeah, Ollie with the flush. So with just 2 pair, right? Yeah, queens and nines. I was thinking I was misreading the board.
Jasper is the winner of the giveaway, and how can he fold? It's a straight. It's Ole. Wow. Wow. I just announced the winner, but it's not necessarily $100. It's 50 or 100, and that is a big fold, man. I'm not making that fold versus Ole in that spot, in that run out. I mean, I don't know how you
I think you misread the board, Jeff. He only had 2 pair, not a straight.
I did misread. Sometimes I misread the board, and you're right.
Otherwise, it would be an absurd fold for sure.
Okay. Wow. Why is I thinking? Wait, no. He had a. What do you mean? He had a 10.
He had 9-10 on Queen Jack 9 Queen.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah. Poker's hard, man, especially when you don't know what the board is. I was saying, but he's not folding straight. Fair enough.
You've got the baby brain going on, Jeff. You got the baby brain. You got other things on your mind.
I didn't go to sleep yesterday because of we went to the hospital like 4 in the morning. I was still awake from the night before, and then I basically was there all day and wasn't sure. But yeah, so pardon me, bit all over.
You're all good, man. Fair play to you.
But wow.
Ollie Shamian, what a heater. Probably goes for value here, Jeff. Check to the river. No aggression from So. Probably doesn't have a spade and will often have some showdown like a 6 or a 7. So I'd expect Ollie to actually bet here and just go ahead and go for value. Yeah. Just bets one big. Try and get called by like a 6 or try and induce a bluff from So. It's all him at the moment. Sub 20, ace 6 here. Certainly potential to open rip this one. Yep, there it is. I've played a lot of shallow spin and goes in my time, Jeff. So this is my wheelhouse with the ranges.
I like it.
Hopefully, famous last words.
Yeah. Yeah. And Jasper is the winner of the giveaway.
Congratulations, Jasper.
Yeah, he's going to get 50 or 100. Looking good for 100 at the moment. Ole in control. King 7-6-5. Gut shot, though. Jungle Man says bet your gutters. Checks it. Oh, double. He's got the open-ended, actually, with the 5-6.
A very interesting turn. You would expect some aggression from Ole here. Just, looking to fold out better hands, just random overcards, queen and king highs. And there it is. We have seen a feature of his play. Uses the overbet. And So really not, has quite high up his range here. Turns second pair with a king kicker. He's going to call turn, I'm sure. Does call. And this is where we get to the interesting rivers. Only with just 6 high. If he does bet, he's going to bet very large. Very interesting. So can still have some hands like an 8-9, like a spade draw that somehow checks flop, like an ace-3, ace-5, 4x type hands, 7x. But Ollie does give it up. Would have been interesting to see what happens on a jam, but Ollie recognizing not to go for it. And So trying to decide if he wants to go for really some thin value here, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not out of the question. I think it's to be pretty thin.
Sure. It does just check back. Nice pickup. Both catching a piece here. Ollie opens, defends from the jack 6. I'm going to go for a quarter pot with bottom pair.
More importantly, we're looking for a jack 8 of diamonds or a king.
Oh, don't do it to me. I swear I'm not. If it happens, I'm done. Surely the fact that I've said it, Jeff, on stream means that it stands.
I'm more interested about you saying king 9. Like, that's the weird part.
That was very weird.
I think if you go back, it would be because I mentioned it like an hour before randomly or something.
So you just planted it into my subconscious.
It has to be. Yeah, it just has to be. Too random.
I swear as well, no troll. I couldn't believe it when you said it. Anyway, we get to the river. Both players check turn. Probably just goes check, check. Yeah, Ollie checks behind. So he's starting to climb the mountain up to 4 million from around about 2.4, I think, at the start of Heads Up. Oh no, King 9. Is it the wrong one?
It's offsuit, but yeah, and also probably not going to get to a flop here. Just see a shoot up, likely 500.
Yeah, Ollie's going to ISO this one for sure.
See, interesting. Ollie's sizings have been smaller in spots. Like it's almost just like he's like, hey guys, let's play post flop. I don't mind with whatever. Just like let's go. Here's the price. But yeah, it's a bit unconventional how he's been playing.
Yeah. Yeah, we should start to see a bunch of limping. Like the shallower we get, typically in Heads Up, of course, more limping. Around about 25 bigs here. Interesting spot. Definitely potential for So-So to start bluffing here. With just Jack High. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see it. Ollie definitely not going anywhere. Pair of fours and the gut shot. Again, one of these spots, if So-So decides to bluff river.
Yeah, 10-4, blocks Jack 10. I mean, it's heads up, though. It doesn't mean the nuts are as much respected. It's so hard to make a pair, but let's see if, you know, Jack 6 off. Pretty reasonable handed bluff, though. You have the Jack, and you have nothing, and Ole kind of realizing, I think, something's fishy, but also that it's a big call me wrong would really tighten things up a bit. He does have the chips, and I think he's certainly capable as those results fan out. Ole over that 9 million on GGPoker earnings versus 105 from So-So, getting his beak, getting it in. You know, he's getting his experience in, playing heads up under the bright lights. First one of the best to do it is big. And look at that call.
Wow, and he finds the call.
Interestingly done by our friend Ole, and man, So-So
very nice.
Gotta be discouraging. You go for it. You make a good spot, and you get a better play. Gets made 14 mil to 2 million. Writing, getting close to be on the wall. Hello to Danny. Good to see you, my friend. Man out of Houston, checking in on the stream. Appreciate that. Bunch of familiar faces here today, as well as some new ones. Appreciate everyone in the giveaway who entered. And we will be back not next week, the following week on the 11th with Jungle Man. Will be the guest as King 10. That's a popular hand in Houston. King 10. King 10 actually offsuit, known as the taxi cab. Originated there. That's one of those random hand names. And 5-6 got the 2 overs. Don't think can go anywhere. 2-10.
Definitely not folding flop. That is for sure.
Nope. Maybe even raise gutters. That's not impossible. Although
yeah, not impossible for sure. Very much a green light turn card here for Ole. I think fair to say that the button does not have many ace-X. You know, limping around about 20 bigs effective to start this hand. He's going to limp shove them most of his ace-X, if not all. So Ollie recognizing it again, just putting the hammer down. And yeah, up to 15 million. He's played pretty much not perfect. We were saying we thought we might be given too much praise, but pretty much everything working out, Jeff, so far. Yeah. So with around about 13 bigs behind, is going to raise with King 8. Ole feeling it, does defend with 7-5. So now in a very awkward spot here on this texture. Lots of Ollie's limp calls will connect pretty well here. He's going to bet though.
Yeah,
should get it done.
Got some wrap cards there, some good turns with the King 8, the diamond. Can turn some diamonds or straight draws with it. Just tough though. You're right. I think that is going to hit Ole a lot. So it's kind
of. I think this is going to be it. Probably goes limp shove and call off. And they're flipping for the title, Jeff, if Ollie can hold.
Here we go. Pair versus the 2 overs. Pretty classic flip. And the ace pairs right away.
Ooh. Oh, wow. What a turn.
Couple extra additional outs, a bunch of additional outs. And it is going to be, I believe, it's a 3 across.
Holy Shemian, man.
Holy Shemian, ladies and gentlemen, turns double gutter, and that is a GG. What a way to win in style. He really showed us what it's all about today. That was a master class. Of course, some good run as well in spots, but just seemed to have it in the right spots. Picked up pots, showed us the overbet. Really a master class today. What are your final thoughts here, Andy? How any takeaways?
I mean, you have to say Ollie put on a pretty much sensational performance. Can't think of any big pots really where he got it wrong. Played pretty much note perfect. Very well deserved winner, you'd have to say. Super strong lineup at that final. Very high level of play as we saw throughout. Yeah, all you can say is congratulations to Ola. Played great. Takes it down.
Absolutely. Maybe the only chance he had to be unthrown there was the 5-6 suited. Opponent turned the nut straight with a better flush draw. River double paired the board. Check, check. That could have been a spot where he shelled off and gave up the chip lead. But really smooth sailing for Ole. Well played. And of course, all the people here today, we appreciate you for hitting the thumbs up, being a part of the show. Next week we'll be off. Following week, Jungle Man. And I will see you all in the future for season 2023 of the Super Millions. This was episode 5. Andy, appreciate you coming, man. Where can people follow you? Where is the best way they can stay in tune and in touch with what you're doing on social media?
Yeah, thanks very much for having me, Jeff. Really enjoyed it. First time being on a GG stream. It was awesome. Great, as we said, great final table to watch. And you know what? I'm a bit of a dinosaur, but you know, I'm trying to come back into the social media streets. So you can find me on Twitter at Picasso2Poker, known as Picasso in the poker world. For anyone who's as much of a dinosaur as me, they'll know it well. But you can find me there, and a bunch of upcoming commentary from myself will be going on at Dusk Till Dawn Card Room in Nottingham. So give them a shout out. And yeah, you can find me on there on Twitter, and you can find me on Facebook if you're really interested. But you know, I don't think people are that concerned, Jeff. But thanks for having me, man. It's been great. It's been a good experience. So thanks very much.
Really, really appreciate it. Very insightful commentary. Say hi to Rob Young over there, Dusk Till Dawn. Amazing venue, amazing place, and always enjoy going there. It's very cool. If you're in Europe, check that out. Well, thank you again to Andy. Thanks to everyone. We'll see you on same time, same place, just 1 week off. We'll see you on the April 11th, I believe. Cheers, everyone.
Thanks, Jeff. Good night.
Sweet. Done.